Good morning, everyone who is watching at home through a number of streaming services. We are back for day number 3. My name's Luke Heckendorf, and next to me is QTF CEO Ben Mannion. Good morning, Ben. How you doing?
Morning, Luke. Great to be here, mate. Bit of rain overnight. Very humid today. I think it's about 26 degrees at the moment, but very, very humid. So I'd be interested to see how they go handling this heat this morning.
So this morning's game we have in the mixed division. We've got Brothers taking on the Dalby Eagles. Brothers about to tap off in the middle of the field, as you might be able to see on the screen, running from left to right as they tap off, taking it up the middle of the field. And let's see how the Brothers go. Player to watch on the Brothers is the number 7. With the ball now, very exciting attacking, and this Brothers side actually knocked off the much fancied Stingers side, which has the Hennessy couple and a couple of Brothers going to score, so the very fancied side.
Tony Wells straight in there off a good pass. Tony Wells, the current Titans female player of the year, has had a great season this year and still scoring tries.
Tony Wells, absolute lightning on her feet as well. Saw her yesterday take a bit of a knock. Luckily, she headed over to the physio cream tent and they sorted her out. A couple of their topical massage creams and a little bit of ice sorted her out. But the defender was at full stretch yesterday to really try and make sure she couldn't get around them. Very quick as Dalby goes straight back on the attack through the number 17, Blake Sir, over to number 6, Cooper Sir. So we've got a couple of family members in the Dalby side as they work their way through. Left-footed step, can't quite get through the middle. Well defended by the number 50, Matthew Redeka. Let's see what Dalby can do as they turn the ball over in the middle of the field. This being the first of, I hope, many my mistake. We've got a couple of junior players playing, but state cups, senior state cups. How has the weekend gone so far, Ben?
Well, it's been phenomenal, Luke. This has been in the pipeline for a long time, and when I started just over 20 months ago, this was probably item number 1 on priorities for our board. So it's been great to see 100 teams from across the state arrive here on the Gold Coast this weekend, and as you can see, teams from, such as Dalby coming over for the event this weekend has been great to see. There's I think 6 or 7 teams from North Queensland, quite a lot around CQ, obviously with Rocky being really prominent in a number of divisions, and obviously in and around the southeast. So we can only build on this. As I said, 100 teams this year, and a great opportunity for players and obviously referees. We've had a big morning this morning with a lot of upgrades, and hopefully we'll get our current director of referees, Dave Field, on here soon as well, just to talk to him about the weekend. I
know we're trying to rope him into a bit of commentary. He was looking a little bit nervous about jumping into the commentary box, but we'll have him in shortly to discuss a couple of the referee upgrades and that part of the touch football community we have here in Queensland. I've got to say, as a Sydney boy, Ben, it's pretty exciting to see Dalby go back on the attack, throw that ball back on the inside, but well defended by the Brothers side. But as a Sydney boy who's always participated in state cups in New South Wales, their mainstay event is next weekend, being held in Port Macquarie with about 300 or so teams, maybe a little bit less than that. It's outstanding to see Queensland come on the back. I would have just assumed that Queensland always had a state cup.
Sure.
So seeing this event and seeing how it has a similar vibes, there's the competitiveness, but also the laid-back nature of touch football. It's absolutely outstanding to see this happening in Queensland, and we're hopeful that this will grow for years to come as the Brothers throw the ball out to the wing. And that's an absolute beauty of a try in the corner.
Playing well, Brothers. They obviously played really well yesterday against the Stingers, who obviously with the Hennessy's and a few well-known players in there, played really, really well. It was a great matchup, and they're obviously continuing on with that form again today.
So number 65, Tracy Hill, you can see her on screen, jogging it over into the sub-box. Well-earned break for Tracy. Excellent work there on the wing as Dalby will look to hit straight back, but this Brothers side much fancied, and yeah, they last night taking the win over the Stingers. I think we'll be seeing this Brothers side feature prominently later today in the finals. It's Dalby now with Timothy Sheehan in the middle with his hands on the ball, flicking it over to James Henrich, back into the middle through Sophia Walton. So couple of good skills on show. Left-footed step. and thrown out to the winger, but he just can't hold on to that one. So Brothers will be back on the attack. We've got a couple of sponsors who've come on board for this event, Ben. It's pretty exciting to see so much signage and so much excitement around a few sponsors getting on board. There's always room for a few more, as we're always sure, but we've got All Sports Travel, who've looked after a lot of the teams to travel down. They look after a lot of sports tour groups. All Sports Travel, make sure you check them out. If you ever do want to head down to the Gold Coast, destinationgoldcoast.com.au. There's plenty of exciting things to do on the Gold Coast. I know for myself, driving around, just getting to the fields this morning, you see a lot of the theme parks, and it's an excellent destination to head to as Dolby go back on the attack. Little dummy jink, but can't quite get that one through the middle.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to do this, Luke, without our partners, and the City of Gold Coast has obviously been front and centre with a lot of those discussions, and it's great that they're being able to support for this year, and hopefully we can get something sorted for next year as well. So I think everyone, the feedback from a lot of the players and coaches and referees is that they love coming here, and Gold Coast is the fun capital, and as you said, we're right on the doorstep of Dreamworld next door, and I think people can come here and bring their families and have a great couple of days and see some wonderful touch footy as well.
There's Brothers straight through the middle. Referees give that one the all clear. That try, William Briston in the middle of the field as we take a look at the replay on screen. Ball flicked in, little step, jink, and just all too easy. The number 17, some good honesty from Blake Sir, saying, no, I didn't get him. No touch called, and Brothers will go 3 up in the first game of the day.
They're looking really good going into the finals. As I said, we'll definitely see those guys and Stingers and Palm Beach probably in the finals. They're all playing really well, those 3 teams, so looking forward to a good final series this afternoon.
As we see Dolby coming back, they'll want to be putting some tries on, making sure Brothers don't get their lead too far out into the in-goal from dummy half, but touch is made, so dummy half caught, and as we all know in touch football, dummy half's caught, it'll be a turnover. So Brothers with a chance to work it out of their own end, and they're going to work it over towards their substitution area. As Tony Wells works it up the side, and you get some fresh legs on. We've got our straw hat onto the field, very sun-safe on a hot, hot day. Number 43, Jardy Neen, or as we were calling him yesterday, Straw. And it's all too easy for Matthew Radeka. Strolls over on the left side of the field with some excellent work from Jardy on screen. Let's have a look at this replay. One-handed pick-up from the number 20, Michael Rasmussen. He does it easily. Brothers go 4 up.
They make it look easy, don't they, wearing straw hats?
Yeah. Well, we were actually looking at the hat yesterday, wondering if it was an official hat, and the logo looks like a Brothers logo on the front of his hat. So, Sun Smart up here on the Gold Coast. As we see them taking the tap here, Dolby. So, Dolby will really look to get a couple of tries as they work it. Flick pass back on the inside, and we'll see what Brothers can do. Coming back out, whether they go straight up the middle or whether they look for that transition over towards the substitution box as they're working their way over to the sub box to get some fresh legs onto the field. Make sure you keep your eyes on these players as they're working their way over to Straw with the hat. Jardy back on the inside to number 19, Brodie Ray. But Tony Wells, lightning on her feet. You wouldn't want to see her in open space. I think she'd have just about most players on this field covered if Tony got the ball in open space. As Brothers, nice long ball out to the wing, and they are in again. So into score, Brothers. Referee points to the spot as we take a look at the replay. And just walks over in the corner. Brothers now up 5 tries with Dolby yet to score. Just looking like they're just backing it off into cruise control, making sure that they win this first game of the day. As Dolby now bringing that ball up the middle of the field. They'll be looking to put some respect into this game, really show that they made the trip down, not just to make the numbers up, but when you do come up against a fancy side like Brothers, it's always a tough ask, particularly as they throw the ball around. But they've turned it over. They're not perfect. And Dolby will now have a chance.
Let's see what Dolby have got. They're in a good field position here.
So we've got a couple of teams, as you were saying earlier, coming down from all areas of Queensland. I think sometimes when you're from outside of Queensland, you forget how big Queensland actually is. How long would the trip be down for Dolby, down to the Gold Coast?
Well, it's an hour and a half away from Toowoomba, so and it's probably a couple of hours out to Toowoomba. So we're talking, 3.5 hours in from Dolby. And there's obviously a lot of people come down from central Queensland and Sunny Coast and places like that, which are equally as far in distance. Rocky's about 8 hours or so. So those that drove down, and most do, have taken some significant time to get down here and obviously to get back. So it's great that they commit to these type of events. And as I said, 6 or 7 teams from North Queensland as well. It's been a tremendous effort for our first year.
As we see Dolby going to score through Brendan Taylor. So they're on the board, 5 tries to 1. And we'll see what the Brothers can do if they hit back. But it's absolutely outstanding. You're seeing a few of the teams from all over, particularly the Rockhampton team in the men's and Townsville, as the Brothers dive in to score through Waddy O'Brien. Hear the Brothers there happy about that, through Waddy scoring that try. But talking to a few of the boys from Redlands last night on the commentary, talking about Brisbane has the Metro Cup. Yep. And they have the opportunity to play a lot of the teams around that southeast Queensland region week in, week out. But they said there's always that rivalry, or always a comment from the guys up north saying, well, if we actually had a competition where we could play as well, we'd probably towel you up. And now they have it. So
well, I think everyone sort of relied on NTLs for a little while in relation to that. And obviously they've competed really well, teams like CQ Bulls and NQ in the past. And I think, from all the data we've got, people love just playing with their friends and their mates, and which they do week in, week out at their affiliate. So to have an affiliate competition like this, albeit that there's some Metro Club teams involved based on what we currently have as a model, but we wanted to replicate the Vorden Cup, obviously, as much as we can, where those teams can transition over to a state cup and continue to play with their friends and the people they play with each week, as I said. So from that perspective, it was really easy to get people to come away and do that. Those teams that play in the Metro Cup in Brisbane wanted to play with those teams, and we've allowed them to do that this year. And next year we'll try and get them to either align themselves with an affiliate or become an affiliate themselves. So that's where we want to try and get to. But as you saw in a couple, even in the Open Men's, in the Men's Premier Division, Townsville competed really well, knocked off Sharpie's team.
Yeah, the UQ Rebels.
UQ Rebels, which was a great result for those guys. And we've got Jason Boyd coaching the Rebels, Queensland Open Men's coach, and Nick Peckier, the assistant coach for the Open Men's. So it was good for the young apprentice to get one over his
definitely
older, wiser coach. So and then obviously we've seen Rocky compete really well over the last few days. They knocked off the Gold Coast A Division team last night, which was a really great result for them, and we expect those guys to compete really well in the final.
Yeah, it's absolutely outstanding to see those teams to be able to play all the way through Metro Cup and then put it together for a 3-day tournament for State Cup. But when those teams have been playing for all those weeks, but then the boys from north come down from up north and still manage to knock them off, I think the boys from up north might have a point to prove, to basically say, hey, just because we don't have our week in, week out competition doesn't mean we're not as good as you guys. And they've showed that, which is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking to the Townsville guys yesterday, they loved having the heat here. They play in it every day up there in Townsville, and the hotter the better from their perspective. So they were really enjoying their time down here in the hot heat yesterday.
About 10 seconds to go in this match. Dolby will look to try and put something on the board in the last dying seconds of the first half, up the middle of the field, working it through, step off the left foot, step off the right, siren goes in the background, can't quite get across the line. So that will be half-time with Brothers leading Dalby 5-1.
Looking
We'll
pretty dominant, aren't they?
Absolutely, the Brothers, they're doing everything right. It wouldn't surprise me if they just back off a little bit in the second half, try and conserve some energy, because they may have another 1 or 2 games to go before that grand final, if they are to make it. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes for the second half. Welcome back. Second half action. Dalby running from left to right if you are watching at home. And we've been joined in the commentary box by our Queensland Touch Football Director of Referees, Dave Field, alongside CEO Ben Mannion. Pretty exciting to have Dave Field in here. He obviously sits well above the CEO as the referees director.
100%, absolutely. Gets everything he wants.
Dave Field, how's the weekend been so far, mate?
Oh, it's been a great weekend. We've seen plenty of quality action in games and some great referee performances. I think the tournament's been at this stage a great success, and hopefully today continues to provide some good product out there to in the sport of touch football. You
see Dave Field on screen. Unfortunately, we've got you on the live stream, Dave. We told you we wouldn't put you on screen, but we have. The great man has appeared on the live stream, and we're pretty excited about that as Tony Wells takes it up the left side of the field. 90 referees, about 90 referees here at the tournament. Talk us through how they might prepare for a game, particularly when they've got 3 days of touch to referee.
Yeah, certainly it's a big ask. Over the 3 days, they'll referee in excess of probably 12, 13 games. And their preparation is quite key to the event. Coming into this event, we would imagine that a lot of them are coming off the back end of their own affiliate grand finals, and therefore, well prepared in terms of their performance. We do have a number of referees that are going for upgrade, and therefore they'll be looking to achieve certain different aspects in the game. And then we've got our top end referees really looking to get finals. So the preparation is quite unique across every referee performance in regards to that. But certainly, the referees are stacked up quite well for this event. It's been very hot. We've asked them to do 5 games yesterday, some did 6. So tremendous effort under these conditions, quite warm. The key to that is keeping hydrated, and they've done a great job.
As we see Tracy Hill go in to score for Brothers, so stretching that lead out to 6 tries to 1. And being a referee, Dave, I've seen you at a lot of the national level tournaments, and you've quite often made the trip down to Port Macquarie to the New South Wales State Cup. But to be able to, as Dalby goes in to score through the number 96, some excellent work, so the referees will point to the spot. But it's good to see you in your element, up in your home state.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great to come to have our state events and really support our referees. In their development opportunities. It's great to see we've got a lot of youth here, and that's really promising for the future of our sport and the referee owner sport as well. So, and some great young referees too.
And the structure of the referees. So in each of the affiliate teams, you'll have a manager and a coach. We have in our 90 refs, we split them into 12 teams.
Yeah, we've got 12 teams supported by a team coordinator. So we appoint a team coordinator to facilitate the management of the referees within the team. And normally they're our level 6s, top performing referees. They do a great job in looking after those referees.
And then you've also got your referee support crew. I know Kate's been doing an excellent job making sure the referees are well fed, well warded throughout the tournament.
Yeah, we have a referee manager that looks after all the logistics and administration of the referee tent, scorecards, that sort of stuff, making sure any changes to the draw occurs. Chase up referees for games, scorecards, etc. Further supported by our catering services team as well, to make sure they're well fed and hydrated, etc. They do a fantastic job. They don't get out of the referee's tent, so they're stuck in there for the whole 3 days. So, it's a great job they do.
I know I stuck my head into the referee's tent to have a look at some of the food that they were eating, and they basically pointed to me and said, "Heck, get out of the tent. This is referees' food only. We need some food left over for the referees." So they're doing a great job in there, making sure that they're well fed and watered. And as we're talking, we see one of the referees in Brad Smith walking past. I'm sure he'll be looking for one of the finals. He's got his short socks on, making sure those rocks of calves aren't doing too much work throughout the tournament. And we'll hopefully see him featuring later on in the day. But you wear a couple of hats, Dave, as we see Brothers go in to score again through Charlotte Kennington.
Well, I think I just want to touch on that, Luke, because Dave doesn't do this for self-recognition. However, Dave is currently got many hats, including a club president, a regional board position, and obviously his referee position. And last night he was recognised for his work as a volunteer in the sport, being a nominee for the Q Sport Volunteer of the Year, which is a tremendous recognition for the work that he does in our sport, and we'd be struggling without him. So Dave, congratulations, mate. I know I've said this already, but tremendous honour for you, and tremendous honour for the sport as well.
Oh, thanks for that, Ben.
Bundy president as well.
Yeah, mate. Look, it's great to give back at grassroots, and I've been Bundy president for about 10 years now. We've got a great crew up there, great bunch of juniors, Yeah, and it's good. It's good. I love the grassroots stuff as well as the other stuff that happens at the other end, high performance, etc. Gives a real good grounding, understanding where our referees are coming from and our players as well.
Now, the referees on this game here, we've got a couple of experienced referees.
Yeah, certainly you've got Greg Kidd in the middle at the moment, and supported by Darren Cowper, and on the far side, young Curtis Sankey, level 5, very promising referee. Hopefully looking to upgrade that badge level to level 6 next year at the National Touch League.
As they're in to score. Brothers again, so putting some points on the board today.
Did we talk about how many upgrades have been happening, Dave?
Yeah, we had some upgrades today, so
Yeah.
that was quite good. So
Yeah.
4 upgrades into badge level. So
Yeah, excellent.
yeah, that's quite for the event coming off the back end of our Junior State Cup, which was we had a high rate of upgrades there. So
Excellent.
it's good to see that we had about 15 referees attempt to achieve an upgrade to different badge levels, and 4 got across the line, which is great to see. But more importantly, 15 finals today. That's 45 referees appointed to finals games. Yeah, certainly were some strong contenders across the board to achieve those finals appointments.
So for the folks who might be watching at home, trying to understand the referee upgrade systems, as Dolby looks to score, no touch was just made, referee's calling 5th touch. There's 6 levels of referee badges that you can work through. You might do your level 1 referees course. As Dolby, they do get into score, referee points to the spot. So there's 6 levels of referees. Your level 1 and 2, traditionally only really gathered at your affiliate competition. So you might sit your level 1 course at your local touch association or nearby touch association. You achieve your level 1 and then work through, achieve your level 2 at your local competition. You might get assessed by your local referees director. And your level 3 and 4 is where you need to go away to your state tournaments.
Yeah, and that's great. That's a great opportunity to really start to, work outside your affiliate, get to, work with other referees, get different coaching from the referee coaches. We have referee coaching panel that supports referees at these events. It's a great opportunity, to get some great experience, some coaching techniques, and hopefully, achieve an upgrade in that process as well.
So then if you want to achieve those elite level badges, your level 5s and 6s, that's where you need to go away to the national tournaments. So you've got your National Touch League, which is held in Coffs Harbour. That's the only place you can actually achieve that level 5 or level 6 badge, but it's taken on your performance throughout the year, and you'll be nominated by your state. What does it take for those referees to achieve that level 5 or level 6 badge?
Well, as you mentioned, it's based on a 12 months performance, so it's about having consistency across a previous 12 months performance, and then they undertake a process where the referee panel at a state event would do an endorsement process based on their performance. So once again, they're evaluated over 12 months and at the event, whether they're meeting the competency requirements for that particular upgrade, whether it's a level 5 or 6. And once that's achieved, and recommended for an upgrade to the national event, and hopefully they'll, the nomination process will go through, and then we're off to NTLs where certainly they get put under a fair bit of pressure to perform at that standard requirement, and they are high standards of performance that are required to achieve a level 5 and level 6 badge.
As Tony Wells catches and puts the ball down over the line, referee points to the spot. So brothers look like they're really doing it easy in this game. Let's have a look at the replay. Over the top, all too easy. And then once you get past that national level, there's the opportunity to referee at an international level. I was lucky enough to referee at a youth Trans-Tasman. Never got the call up for a regular Opens Trans-Tasman. I've always been kicking myself. I haven't been appointed to one of those.
We talked about consistency before, and
we did certainly talk about consistency there.
Thanks,
and understand too that these international referee appointments, they are unique, and certainly we've taken the best that we can possibly take, and that's based on performance. And it's a tight bunch of referees at the top there, in terms of the international standard requirements. It's a bit cutthroat sometimes, but certainly we end up with the best referees that we want to present at that event, and the best referees to that Australia can provide as well.
As we see Jardy in the straw hat, try and go all the way. Oh, did he put it down just before the dead ball line? Luckily, our young level 5 referee was on the spot.
Yeah, Curtis Sankey's all over that. Yep, kept up with the runaway right on the spot. Certainly she looks like she's a good touchdown over there.
And scores in the corner, so Jardy put one down. Look at the run. Referee's in the frame the entire time. But as we say goodbye to Dave, I do want to comment that you said you only take the best away to international tournaments, and that's probably why I haven't been selected.
Oh, well, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. And obviously,
you definitely get the encouragement.
You certainly have an opportunity to perform if you want to.
No worries. Thanks very much, Dave Field.
It's great to have Dave here. Thanks, mate, for taking
all right,
the time.
cheers. All the best for the day.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate, as Dave Field vacates the commentary box or commentary tent. Excellent to have an insight into the referee's side of the tournament. I'm sure he's going to go back and do a fair bit of work, shake some hands and kiss some babies in the
absolutely.
Around the tournament. Man of many talents, Central Queensland board member, Bundaberg Touch president and director of referees at Queensland, and then also goes away at national, international events to support the referees. So referee arm of the sport going from strength to strength, as we see the brothers taking it up the left side of the field. So Ben, it's always good to hear from the referees side of things.
Yeah, and Dave does a tremendous job. Obviously, volunteers so much of his time across the whole sport, but particularly in that referee space. It's been great for me because I haven't had to focus overly too much on that area. Dave does, and his panel does a tremendous job, and equally nationally with our New South Wales counterpart national panel, does some great job across the premiership and other national events as well.
As we see the brothers going into score, so in cruise control, still putting the tries on the board. That try through William Briston, fast feet. And we still have about 3 minutes remaining in this game. Dolby will look to put a couple more tries in. Don't think they should be too disheartened with this performance. They've got a pretty red hot side they're playing in brothers. But Dolby, they'll take away plenty of learnings from this tournament to take into some more tournaments throughout the year as they look to get that ball all the way around. One-handed pickup, touch is made. Referee Kidd puts his hand in the air to indicate fifth touch. We'll see what Dolby can come up with in this instance. And just turn it over in the middle of the field, and brothers will look to go back on the attack with 2 minutes remaining in this game. As we work through Wells up the sideline. And if you are watching this game at home on the live stream, just like to remind you all that all the games on Field 1 will be live streamed, and the next game coming up is an absolute cracker.
Sure is.
Women's Open, BMTA UQ Rebels up against Brothers. You can see them warming up in the background. UQ Rebels, an absolute star-studded side, and Brothers not looking too shabby themselves. Some of the girls to watch in the next game, Ben, in the Brothers side.
Well, I see Kim Susie's captain of the brothers' side, and I watched her yesterday. She's at her ultimate best and doing some really great stuff. One of our tremendous former staff members is doing some great work with us at the moment. Ray Barker's obviously there as well, but they're going to find it really tough today, I think, coming up against Rebels. It's a star-studded team, as you said, and I look forward to the challenge of what Brothers can put up against the Rebels today.
Rebels boasting a wealth of talent. You've got Danny Davis, Taryn Aitken, who played for the Gillaroos in the recent Rugby League World Cup Nines.
Yeah, played for the Broncos in the grand final. Did a tremendous job in that final.
So has an NRLW Premiership ring to boast to her collection. So there's definitely some stars in the next game. So make sure you don't tune out. Make sure you're watching the next game because you see something exciting.
And coached by one of the number one, I think, female coaches in the game in Renee Murphy. And Leisha's obviously there as assistant too. So 2 premiership coaches in that coaching panel. So obviously Sammy Jo Curtis is there as well. And a lot of those players that are at Rebels are coming in from the Gold Coast as well. So they'll feel like they're playing at home a little bit, those girls. And as I said, I think they'll be really hard to beat today.
as Dolby come back on the attack. Only about 5 seconds remaining. We'll hear the siren go in the background in a moment. There's the siren. So Dolby, one last play to show what they've got in this game. They throw it out. But the straw man, Jardy Neen, shuts them down and says, no, thank you. I think that's all we've got time for. And they shake hands. Brothers, Dolby. Brothers doing it easy in the end. But Dolby should be encouraged. Put a good fight up against his star-studded brothers side. So, next game coming up, Women's Open. Brothers, UQ Rebels. Make sure you stay tuned. And I think I'll be stepping out, putting the expert commentary of Scotty McAllister, who I hear has been polishing the floorboards.
The new Nissan Arena.
Nissan Arena.
Yep.
For the Brisbane Bullets. He was reminding us how to sweep the sweat off the court yesterday, and he'll be back in the commentary box, and I'm sure he's happy we're talking about him right now. So we'll leave it at that. Welcome Scott McAllister back, and stay tuned for an absolutely outstanding game coming up.
Welcome back to Coomera, and Women's Premier action has just started out here on Field 1. It is UQ Rebels taking on Brothers. Luke Heckendorf is with me in commentary for this one. It's going to be a pretty good game. Brothers were disappointing yesterday afternoon against Gold Coast going down, and the Rebels have just been rolling on throughout the tournament. And they're in attack. First possession here for them as Taryn Aiken has a dig at the line. Fifth touch. So Brothers will be really looking to make a statement here as Maimai throws it back in field, and they hold out in their first set in defence.
Thought I might have escaped the commentary box as the expert tones of Scott McAllister stepped in. Mate, thanks for stepping in, but thought I'd better hang around and support you through, carry you through.
Thanks.
I carried a couple of the Redlands boys through last night, and Brad Russell and a few of the others, so we'll see what Brothers and UQ can come up with today. Star-studded sides, and we'll see what is in store for us. Remember, 2 15-minute halves, plenty of time for them to get set into the game. Be looking at Paige Hawkins to score a couple of tries throughout today's proceedings. One of the smallest, but one of the most exciting players to watch as we see a bit of a transition. And Brothers throwing it out to the wing. I think UQ might just get out of jail here.
Yeah, touch we made out there, it's claimed from Andreasen.
It's an interesting one. The ball got turned over and the players were already heading to the sub-box and they didn't stop. So the players coming on had to scramble in defence. And Brothers really looking to put some early points on the board as we see them coming through. The middle of the field, back to Susie. See what they can come up with.
So Barker plays the ball 7 metres out from the line. Susie again off the wraparound. Rebels slide nicely. It's Kelly Woods with the ball, plays it. They pick up the short ball. Susie coming in on the hole. Probably was covered in defence as well, so couldn't crack them there, Brothers. As Donovan drives forward now. Tiani Bryce comes across field. Nice dish back inside to Donovan. They don't end up picking up too many extra metre. Hawkins drives forward. Sammy Jo Curtis now onto the field. Nice drive into the line. Aiken picks up around from the sweep. Referee's happy. Woods is onside. Brothers now head towards their sideline. Strong contact there on Yarden. Stevens pops out, just gets that ball away. Stevens picks up again from half. Nice. It's going to come back for a touch and pass. Almost flicking the ball out on that occasion. So pretty good battle to start this one between these two teams. Pretty tight. Both teams having played against each other quite regularly throughout the Metro Cup season. As Danny Davis rolls onto the field now. She'll move into acting half position. Maimai plays it. Davis picks, goes out to the link. They come back in field. They're still trying to throw the ball around. She steps down in front of Davis. Referee will call a touch and pass penalty.
Davis not coming up with the goods there. She was quite good, though, in the commentary box yesterday for the Touch Football Specialised Grand Final. She knows a lot of those girls and guys through a lot of the work she does in the Touch Football Specialised program. Very exciting to see the inaugural Touch Football Specialised Grand Final taking place here, Queensland State Cup. And what else is exciting is the Touch Football Specialised program's expanding, and we'll see a division at the New South Wales State Cup next week as well, which I'm no doubt Danny will have her eyes firmly fixed on how that goes as she looks to help develop that program with Queensland's own Graham Clancy.
So Rebels coming, a little bit of a bobble. They're looking a little bit off their game this morning here, the Rebels. They haven't dropped a game so far throughout the tournament. They're sitting 5-0 on top of the ladder. Brothers sitting in third at the moment. They're on equal points with Caboolture. Caboolture with a better for and against at the moment, so vying for finals positions. This could be a huge win and might be some good momentum for Brothers if they can pick this one off. Susi gives early ball. Carney goes back in field. Susi finds it again. They find the hole. Referee points to the spot. So it has been a great start here for Brothers, and they've finally been able to capitalise. They get the first points on the board.
We had Dave Field from Bundaberg Touch. He's the president of that association, talking last game about the referees. But one of the most exciting things in Bundaberg is the Bundaberg Cup. It's one of Australia's richest touch football knockouts, being held Saturday the 1st and Sunday the 2nd of February in 2020. The Greg Duncan Touch Fields in Bundaberg, the ultimate social event. Teams from around the country fight for one of the richest touch football prize money purses in Australia, approximately $20,000 to be shared across various men's, women's and mixed events. So if you're interested in nominating a team, get in contact with the Queensland Touch crew and you could be playing at the Bundaberg Cup and winning a bit of cash for your team in touch footy.
An unlucky chance there as Draper dives in the corner, looking for their first one. They come back out towards Draper again. Comes off the right foot, manages to hold on to the ball. That's a tough take to reel in there from Draper. She's done a great job, went a whisker away from getting there first on the previous play. As we see Bryce just float one out. Look at this. Digs into the turf, holds it in one hand. That's a classy finish there from Ellie Draper. Back level.
We take a look at a couple of the teams. 99 teams here at Queensland State Cup. Pretty exciting, Scott, to be involved. How's your weekend been in the commentary box? I know you might be a little bit tired from calling so many games, but that's how exciting it is. We've got so many games here at the State Cup.
It's been great, mate. It's been good to see the State Cup back on the calendar. It's been away for a while, and yeah, it's just great to see players get the opportunity to go back and represent their clubs out here on the big stage as well. And it's been a fantastic weekend. The inclusion of the All Abilities, as you may mention, Luke, was fantastic yesterday afternoon. And today, the finals day, it's all on the line. And there's going to be some good finals coming up later on this afternoon as Rebels roll into the line nicely. Aiken tries to put the footwork on. Nice touch in the middle of the park there from Brothers.
Importantly to keep your eyes fixed on Taryn Aiken, the number 7 from the UQ Rebels. She's really showed that pathway that we've probably only seen through the likes of Sean Johnson, Benji Marshall and Kalen Ponga through the touch football into the rugby league. But Taryn Aiken managed to get a call up to the Brisbane Broncos NRLW side and then played so well in that grand final, forced her way into the Australian side in the Rugby League 9. So there's definitely a pathway as you come through touch football into either the National Rugby League or the Women's National Rugby League. So if you are looking to hone your skills in rugby league, there's no better place to do it than in touch footy.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting to get the fruits of the partnership now, and with the women's program as well on the Gold Coast. There's a touch rugby league, the girls that play touch. They want to give rugby league a try, and they get the opportunity to get out in front of some rugby league scouts out there, and a lot have been picked up from that program. So it's been fantastic to see the girls get involved in the rugby league side of things as well. As Rebels are just starting to find their groove a little bit now in this match. Andreasen throws a beautiful ball out to Georgina Rackerman. And a second one on the board now for the Rebels. They're starting to click into gear.
Over the weekend, we've had some excellent imagery captured by DSA Images. They've been established in 2011 and based on the Fraser Coast right here in Queensland. DSA Images, led by David Ainsley, has travelled across Australia and as far as South Korea, covering large sporting events. If you are looking for someone to capture your event, head to DSA Images, info@dsaimages.com.au. Some great work and some great pictures from the DSA Images team.
So Brothers back on the attack with Barker. Gleason comes in from half, gives early ball. Stevens does the same to Susi. Touch is made. Big touch there from Tiani Bryce. Nice ball movement there from Brothers. Letting the ball do the work. Getting them on the outside of the UQ defenders, but they had to scramble. Bryce got the skates on. Barker again. No acting half in place for Brothers. Stevens has to scramble to get across field, and as a result, she's just going to burn the touch. They finish off in the corner. Donovan dishes to Thomas. Bryce again, so they put it through the hands. Draper takes the meters. But Donovan again. Changes on. Davis. Curtis, good meters again. Clean pick up from Davis. She throws a left to right. And Draper just not quite in position. Be able to reel that one in.
Looked like she just got out of Draper, just out of position. I think she might have come in, didn't quite get back out on the wing, and that's where Davis threw that ball, just assuming that she'd be there. And 9 times out of 10, she would have been in position, caught that ball, dived into the corner for the try.
So just a little bit disjointed here as they make substitutions, brothers. As Carney tries to rip one out just to get them out of trouble. Looks towards the sideline. A bit disappointed with the way they transition out of their end of the field there, brothers. And this is what they can't do. They've got to get those little things right. Take away the field position that Rebels have, and they're in prime real estate at the moment. And again, straight back on the attack. Andresen sends it back in field to Aiken. Emily Ward into half. Aiken again will play static, gets early ball straight away. Will she dive? She sends it out to the wing, sucks in the defence perfectly. And Olivia Goodsall finishes off in the corner. This will be a pretty one to watch on the replay. Just watch the work here of Taryn Aiken. Comes in, looks like she's going down, sucks in the defence. Links up with the winger. Third one on the board now for Rebels. They're starting to skip away. 3-1 on the scoreboard.
Seen some pretty good team uniforms here over the weekend through Inferno, the official apparel supplier of Queensland Touch Football. Inferno set out to develop and fulfil the needs of the modern athlete and supporter, from training and competition uniforms to general everyday lifestyle clothing and off-field wear. They've got the Inferno tent down here as well, so if you are around the venue, make sure you stick your head into the Inferno tent. I'm sure they do you a great deal, and they can also sort your club or affiliate side out with some outstanding uniforms.
Donovan dishes again to Mai. Again, they just roll over the half, down into Brothers territory. Just doing it with absolute ease at the moment. This is last touch for them now as Davis picks up. Curtis looks to switch in underneath. I think Davis might have been looking for her to stay on the outside on that occasion. It's Kelly Woods. Drives toward the sideline. Great to see Woodsy back out on the park. Former Australian Women's Open representative. Queensland Women's Open representative for a number of years. Carney just picks up and goes. And she fires the bomb out. Probably not a bad option in the end. Just to pick up and go and try to finish as far down into the Rebels' end of the field as possible. Footy gets back on the field, back underway. 3-1 is the score here. This is Women's Premier round action. And the Rebels going down Brothers' side of the field this time. Now they'll come back in field. Davis picks up again, pumps, takes a deflection off Ray Barker. She signals to the referee as well. 6 more touches.
Looked like it was touched in the air. I think the sideline referee had it covered as well. If the players showed a bit of gamesmanship and wanted to not tell the referees they touched the ball, which has happened. I've witnessed that a few times. It's all part of the game. But
Absolutely.
Excellent pick up by the referees.
Aiken again, they're on the back foot. I think Yarden might have been offside on that occasion. She's got her hand up to claim the touch, but it did look like she was short.
Yeah, the penalty's been awarded. They were offside. And they get a repeat set, see what if they can capitalise down this end of the field.
Yeah, tap short side here with Davis, they do, but Brothers flood. Stop that attacking raid down. Plenty of touches here to come as Aiken again. Stevens realising the threat. Comes forward. Curtis again, short of the 5. Hooter goes in the background. Aiken fires it out as Mai tries to chop the link hole. Well defended there from Brothers. So after a good start from Brothers, Rebels end up finding their groove and it came back into the match. 3-1 is the halftime score. Rebels are looking good in this one, Lukey boy.
They are looking good. Rebels just in cruise control, I'd say. They look like they're probably in 3rd or 4th gear with a couple of gears to step up if they need to. But there's no doubt if the Rebels really push, the Brothers will come up with them as well. So we'll see what has to happen in the second half, what's in store as the teams go into their team huddles.
Let's see if Brothers can work their way back into the match at the halftime break. We go in with the score of Rebels leading 3 over Brothers 1. Welcome back. Teams are starting to enter the field here for the second half. Rebels leading this one at 3-1. We're actually going to head down to the sideline with Luke Heckendorf. He's got the coach of the Rebels team, Renee Murphy.
I'm here on the sideline with Renee Murphy. I actually confused you for a player with that jersey on, looking super fit yourself. What was the message to the girls at half time?
Basically, it took a little while for us to get into the game and with some composure, running with really good intent and making sure that we're executing our rucking game and just to pick up the communication and continue with our strong defensive touches in front.
Someone to watch on the other side as well. This is a star-studded team you're coming up against. Who's the main opponents to watch out for?
Oh, it's always going to be Ash Carney and Kimi Susi. So we just got to make sure we take their time away from them, which is something else that we talked about.
Excellent work. I'll let you get back to it. Our super coach over here looks like he could get the boots on as well. So thanks very much for spending some time with us, and we'll let you get back to it. Thanks very much. All the best for the second half.
Thanks.
Back to you, Scotty.
Thanks, Luke, and thanks to Renee for giving us time there at half time. Always great to get the insight of the coaches straight from the mouth as the game's taking place. We'll try and get a few more of those interviews throughout this afternoon as the finals start to take place. And Rebels going to pick up a penalty to start here in the second half. Brothers going to come up with the goods on their first attacking set to get this one back underway. So 3-1 is the score. Rebels finishing the first half definitely the better of the two teams. As Mai rolls into the line. Curtis switches up the point of attack again, back to Davis. Mai plays, Davis picks up, fakes to go to the short side, opens it to Aiken. Aiken comes back in field, so nice work from Brothers. And again, they're holding position. Curtis now drives in, Mai sweeps around the back, tries to dive in underneath, straight into the arms there of Ash Carney.
Referee on the spot to make that call. Split-second decision being made, but they're in the best position to make the best decision.
Davis comes off the right foot, tries to get away on the outside of Susi. Those two are very familiar with each other's games, no doubt. Couldn't get on the outside of Kim on that occasion. Brothers now rolling up the field. Gleeson with the previous touch. Susi takes a hit up herself. Yarden, nice meters coming in off the box. Stevens switches English underneath. Yarden now does the same for Stevens. Stevens comes back in field, switches to Yarden. He's going across the face at the moment. Finish in the corner, Brothers. So again, I think they'll be pretty happy with where they've picked the football back up here, the Rebels. Ooh, that's touch and go. And they end up picking up decent meters. So it's funny how things can go when you got luck on your side.
I was pretty happy with that call. It's close, but I'd much rather the referees call play on than stop the game. You want a nice free-flowing game, and that was an excellent refereeing.
Dreesen picks up, nice exchange of passing with Emily Ward in the lead up. Now referee is going to call it into the set. Looking for the offside penalty.
Always looking for that repeat set on the line, but there's some excellent work from the referee. Called the play on, they didn't take advantage, and you don't get two bites of the cherry.
Nice roll into the field there from Ray Barker. Woods switches Susi underneath. Barker now picks up, goes down the short side. They're going to pick up the penalty on this occasion, so it works in Brothers' favour. Players offside. Nice work there from Ray Barker, identifying that the players were offside. Try to take the advantage as well. They'll get a fresh set of 6 to attack. Good chance here, strong touch in the ruck. Woods will bounce straight back up. Ball in hand again, back in field. Barker, has a touch been made? It's going to be a touch and pass. Not sure what happened there on that occasion.
Well, they've picked something up. Woods is running around so quick. Woods is a bit like a fine wine, just keeps getting better with age. I know that when I first came into the sport, she was running around with Canterbury down in Sydney. And to me, she hasn't lost a step of pace, still steering the girls around, and having someone with that experience in this Brothers side would definitely help those younger girls throughout the length of this tournament.
Good position to attack again here as Aiken picks up and goes. She'll get into the in-goal area. Susi scrambles to get across, and they manage to hold out in the end. They'll pick up a penalty as well for a late pass. Brothers now down the left-hand side of the field. Meters again from Kim. Woods dishes. She'll head to the interchange box. Gleeson drives forward. Looping pass out the back to Carney. Nice short ball to English. English punches the hole perfectly. right through the middle, and a second one on the board. 3-2 is the score now. That's a great response there from Brothers. So we see English just running a great line. A little short ball off the hip. I won't be too happy that they've gone through the middle of their defence. It keeps them within a sniff. It's probably been Rebels who have had the better of the start of the second half, but they'll get a lot of momentum out of that, Brothers.
If you are at home and thinking about heading down to the Coomera Sports Park, make sure you head past the Physio Creme tent. Physio Creme are the official recovery area partner of the Junior and Senior State Cup.
They've just hit back. Nice little inside ball from Danny Davis, and nicely taken again. So pretty much a little bit similar to what we saw when they went straight through the middle. They've done the same as we see the replay. Davis just going across field. Looked like it might have played out the back to Andreas Sam, but Sammy Joe Curtis punching through the middle. Great response to hit back out by 2, 4-2 the score.
Playing well, Sammy Joe Curtis. Just appeared in a couple of advertisements for Touch Football Australia as well. I'm sure some of the girls were giving her a bit of flack for those media appearances, so to speak, but she's definitely putting the runs on the board today, scoring that try, which is some absolutely exceptional work for the Brothers as look to hit back.
Chloe Campbell taking the touch. Still throwing everything out there on the table at the moment. Woods shows it left, shows it right. Susie will sweep around the back. Probably just overran it a little bit. Back on the inside though, comes off the left foot. So that's a classy finish, because it did look like just overran coming off the sweep. Did a great job to reel that one in, then go with the footwork as well. Get in underneath the Uni Rebels defenders. So they're still hanging in here, Brothers. They're going right to the death, as we can see. Flat ball from Woods. Left foot, and Donovan might have been called offside as well, short of the line. Picks up the points, 4-3.
As we see the Rebels taking that tap, make sure you do head down to that Physio Creme tent for your free 15-minute massage. We've got a range of topical sports creams to help you with any aches or pains you might receive throughout a touch football tournament, based on evidence of traditional use. Physio Creme, official recovery area partner of Queensland Touch Football.
My picks up from half, goes back in field. Marvin Thomas. The two link back up. Thomas goes short. Aiken tacks on the line, comes off the left foot, gets in underneath Brooke English. And really, when it didn't look like she had any right to get underneath, still just finds a way every time. Taryn Aiken, fantastic try, and every time Brothers get within one, Rebels respond. Hit them back and just keep that lead back out to 2. So Susie gets us back underway.
Be interesting to see what the UQ Rebels side can come up with in defence. They really need to get a stop, hold the Brothers out. You can see Woods getting involved in every aspect of this attacking raid. She's got the pink hat on, you can't miss her out there. The elder statesman of the team, but looking fit and fast and steering these girls around the field exceptionally.
Susie sends it out. She's got the hot hand at the moment for Brothers, no doubt about that. Davis goes to Andreasen. Curtis does the hard yards. Roll over the halfway line now with Donovan. Wood comes onto the field, just straightens up and drives in. Gives Bryce nice pick up from half. Woods just make the touch on the inside. Referee's happy. Ooh, good strong contact in the ruck. As Woods gets in the half. Susie goes down the sideline. Gleeson back onto the park. Carney now. Switches Galetto underneath. Carney will pick it up again. Gives early ball back to Gleeson. Gleeson's got up the run on. And diving effort there from Emily Ward.
Excellent defensive work by Ward, making sure that they hold the Brothers out. They know that if they let 1 or 2 tries in, these tries might start to dry up towards the back end of this game. We've got about 5 minutes to go, and we'll see what they can come up with on this attack. Getting over halfway. Go the Rebels.
Andreasen gets switched under. Again, Aiken comes from the sweep, gives early ball, tries to play towards Murray Thomas, can't reel that one in.
As we see the brothers with the chance to work it out of their own end, see what they can come up with. They'll probably look to take it over to their substitution area, get some fresh legs onto the field, and really look to attack. This is where most teams all tournament have looked dangerous on their drive. They can work it out, but a little bit of a hard touch from the Rebels players, so they'll get a reset and probably far enough out to really drive it in. So let's see what the brothers can come up with, but no, turn it over, ball down in the play the ball. So just a little bit of lack of control, lapse of concentration, and the Rebels have been let off the hook.
Yeah, they've got to try to capitalise those opportunities that they get, brothers. As Rebels again just go expansive. Curtis plays it. Donovan back onto the park. Murphy dishes from half. Davis goes back in field to Mai. It's short of the 5. They're in the attacking zone now, and it opens up like the Sydney Heads straight through the middle again. And that's been a couple of times in the second half where they've gone back in through the brothers' middle defence. And they get their 6-1 on the board. As we see the replay now, Davis drifts across field. Mai holds her position. And defenders caught standing still there from brothers, so they're pushing ahead now, UQ.
If you are looking to travel to any touch football tournaments or sporting events, make sure you head to All Sports Travel. Their preferred travel partner of Queensland touch football with over 30 years experience. They're the sporting group travel specialists and organise domestic and international travel for over 18,000 athletes and support enthusiasts each year. So All Sports Travel will help you out with any of your travel needs.
Just a loose pass out in front of Kim Soo Si. Chance of pulling that one in. Our next match is due to commence at 9:20. It's the last round match of the men's Premier Division. Gold Coast taking on Palm Beach Stingrays in that one, local derby. It'll be a good one to watch. And then at 10 o'clock is our first finals action. It'll be semi-final of the Mixed Division A competition. So looking forward to getting our first look at the finals this morning as Ward goes across the field. Touch made there from Carney.
His brothers looking a little bit tired towards the back end of this game, but I'm sure all it would take is a little lapse of concentration from the Rebels to let them back in. Let's see what they can do as they cross over halfway.
Nice drive onto the ball from Barker. English does the same. Plato picks up from half, comes off the right foot, little stutter step, straight into the defence. Again, they come out towards our left-hand side. Draper dishes to Thomas. Brothers starting to come up in defence, trying to put pressure on. Thomas takes another tough hit up. Gets him back on the front foot. Aiken just picks up and will go. Play on's the call. Brothers players not getting back on side. And Marama Thomas, perfect support play. He can put that one down to her as well. They were looking a little bit on the back foot, trying to get out of their end of the field. Thomas just put her head down, drove in for Aiken, and then did the perfect support play up on the inside. Finishes off with the try.
So about 1 minute to go in this game. I think the Rebels look to have it all locked up. I think there's quite enough time for the brothers to take the win, but they can definitely still put a couple of tries on if they work hard in this last 40 seconds or so. It might be time for one more try. Let's see what Woods can come up with in the middle. Look at that. Number 16. I'm sure she'll be straight into the action, helping set up any attacking raids as they come in.
Yep, they play at the back to Woods now. Go back in field. Yarden switches in Susie. She kicks into the line now. Just too close within the 5. Blanche will pull them back out. Susie again tries to pump and get Yarden on the outside. Yarden comes back infield, picks up and goes herself. Left foot, right foot, tries to fire that link ball to Woods. Outstretched diving. It was dropped over the line as well. Might have been a chance there for Brothers to get one right on the death, but full-time siren sounds in the background. Rebels far too good in this one, and they're rolling into the finals with an undefeated record, 6-0, and Lukey boy, they might be the team to beat.
I think they are the team to beat, but as we know, any of these tournaments, you're only as good as the last game you've played, and it can take something freakish to happen in a final to not take it away. So you can be the form team all competition. Got to make sure you push all the way through to the final, but the Rebels definitely looking the goods in that game.
So men's premier action coming up next out here on Field 1. Gold Coast taking on Palm Beach. We'll take a short break. That game is due to commence at 9:20. So tune in. We'll bring you all the action very shortly.
Okay, so it's got a really big half an hour with 17. Don't rest on the field, don't
Welcome back to the Coomera Sports Field. It is the final round here of the Men's Premier Division. We've got Gold Coast and Palm Beach out here on Field 1. Luke Heckendorf's with me again in commentary. A little bit of a local derby between these two teams. A lot of them have played a lot of football with each other. There's a few smiles and happy faces out there at the moment. It's all kind and friendly. I don't think that'll last too long.
Yeah, we've seen our first drop-off extra time game for the day over on one of the back fields, which has pushed us out by a couple of minutes. That's all right, these guys are all prepared. Referee in the middle taking control is Lachlan Freshwater, and it's a real family affair in the referees as well as the players, with Lachlan's dad, Brett, actually I think coming out in the top 3 referees, and Lachlan coming out in, I think, the 5th or 6th position in the referees. So Lachlan and Brett Freshwater, father-son duo, couldn't quite get on the game together, but he'll take control in the middle with Denise Weir also backing him up as well. So Gold Coast, Palm Beach, plenty to see in this game. Let's have a look and see what they can come up with in this first set of 6.
Norman gets it from half, fires it beautiful left to right. Just goes out in front of the handset. Like Tristan Wag in the 5 from the coast. Tough one to take. Been half a chance. They were able to reel that one in. Hadwin comes across field. Norman comes up and puts pressure on nice and early. Shot that one down. Hadwin again. Just rolling through the middle at the moment, Palm Beach. And couldn't come up with anything on the back end of that set, so good defensive set there from the coast. Gets them in pretty good attacking position. This will be touch 2 as Hall plays it pretty much on the halfway line. And Norman now drives in. Ward. Nice footwork there as Ward again sends it back midfield. Get the bump ball. They're going to pick up a penalty as well.
See if the Gold Coast side can capitalise on this penalty. We've seen it quite a bit where a penalty might be given to the team on their own line, and they're going to try and score off this one. Most times they will back it up and score that try. Let's see if Palm Beach can hold them out, keep their defence rock solid.
That's Tawi with the ball now. You can hear the cries from Palm Beach to get up and put pressure on. Matawi gets on the outside of Nathan Jones. It slides that one in underneath. First points on the board for the Gold Coast. As the replay comes up, just nice early ball from Langberg. And a slide in underneath. Good start. They've had the bulk of the possession, the Coast. They capitalise and get the first try on the board.
We've got College of Sport and Fitness, nationally accredited training provider with over 12 years experience. 2019, College Sport and Fitness have partnered with Queensland Touch Football to deliver certificates 2 and 3 in sports coaching and sport and recreation, which actually specialises in touch football. So if you are interested in College of Sports and Fitness, certificate 2 and 3 in sports coaching and sport and rec, College Sport and Fitness are the guys to go and see. Looked like it could have almost been a try there.
Half chance. Dave Marr coming across field, gave a nice ball. Jared Whitaker almost getting in underneath. Marr again, one to watch for Palm Beach. Had a great year in 2019.
Dave Marr, definitely a player to watch in the Palm Beach side. Loves his touch football. And I think he'll be playing next weekend as well down in Port Macquarie. I think he might even be playing with the Manly Seagulls. So he loves his touch footy.
Norman gets through from half, just sends an alley-oop over the top. And might have picked up an injury here. Looks like it might be Jacob Hall down on the ground for the Coast. He's going to get to his feet, clutching at the fingers.
I think we might send the physios over to take a look, rub a bit of topical massage cream for temporary relief of muscular aches and pains. They might head on over and give him a hand, throw a bit of ice and get him back into the game.
Palm Beach down the sideline. Nathan Jones sends it infield. And forward pass.
Looked a little bit suspect.
Yep, being picked up from the referees.
Nathan Jones, one of the elder statesmen, still got it.
Absolutely still got it. One of the absolute greats of Australian touch football, former Men's Open captain. Tristan Wag tries to kick out, and Jones finishes him off. So Wag again, football in hand. Norman directing traffic, comes into half now, gives early ball to Love. Love goes left foot, right foot. Pretty hard to defend. You can't really blame Riley Bubang for having a difficult time at that. Look at the footwork here. Bang, bang, bang. Underneath. And poor bugger, he was there to make it. I just couldn't quite get the hand on Love on that occasion. Second one on the board, 2-0.
A lot of these players will be looking towards State of Origin next year, Scott. The 2020 State of Origin. How exciting will that be? Down back in New South Wales territory?
Yeah, New South Wales back hosting after having the Origin series in Redcliffe in 2018. The Blues, unfortunately, from our perspective, holding on to the shield. Queensland going within a whisker yet again of being able to reclaim that State of Origin trophy. It's been a long time between drinks for Queensland. Hadwin dances, gets touched, but yeah, looking forward to State of Origin again. Palm Beach get penalised for not giving the ball back to the mark as well.
If you are looking to head to the State of Origin series, I've heard that it is being actually played on the NRL representative rounds. There'll be no NRL matches, so you can head down to Coffs Harbour Friday the 19th, Saturday the 20th of June 2020. 15 divisions already confirmed. There'll be some touch footy action in Coffs Harbour. But today, we're here on the Gold Coast watching Gold Coast take on Palm Beach in the local derby.
So Tawi, the try scorer, he got the first one on the board for the Coast. Singh goes back his way. He's pretty light-footed as well, and he's managed to get in underneath Nathan Jones in the supporting middle defence. Well, they are turning it on with the footwork here this morning. The Coast, look at this, bang off the left and holds it in one hand with the right, slides underneath. That is a very impressive bit of skill work there from the young man.
And if you are liking the Palm Beach jerseys, they have been put together and supplied by Inferno, who are the official apparel supplier of Queensland Touch Football. Inferno set out to develop and fulfill the needs of the modern athlete, from training and competition uniforms to general everyday lifestyle clothing. We've got an Inferno tent, which is absolutely packed full of goodies. So if you are down at the tournament or thinking of heading down, make sure you head to the Inferno tent or head to inferno.com.au for all your sporting apparel needs.
Dave Mark goes back infield. He'll pick from half. Goes off the left foot, floats it. Can't reel that one back in. Tom Ma, so interesting there. Brothers on opposite sides of the field. Wonder if there might be a little bit of a get square or a stitch up at some stage. Nice run onto the field. Jacob Hall picks up with the right hand, throws a nice left to right. They've got numbers in space. Langberg sums it up nicely. No touch made in the corner. And that is a classy finish as well to get the fourth on the board. Looks like Wayne Unawai finishing off there for the Coast. Have a look at this. Beautiful left to right. And Langberg holding it to the absolute death before throwing that pass. Gets the fourth one on the board. It's been a pretty hot men's premier competition throughout the State Cup. We've got a lot of teams stacked full of talent this weekend. Redlands coming into the last round undefeated. The Metro Cup champions sitting on top, 6 wins from 6 matches. Rockhampton with the 1 loss, and that was against Redlands earlier on in the competition. Townsville sitting in 3rd position. BMTA Colts in 4th at the moment. So the Gold Coast here are sitting on 11 points. Colts are sitting on 13. They're pretty close in terms of for and against. There's only 1 in it, so Gold Coast are a chance of potentially getting through to finals if results go their way. And they rack up a bit of a score here, so I think that shows why they've come out with plenty of intent in this match against Palm Beach.
Pretty exciting division as well. Coming into the tournament, looking at the teams involved, you would think that any of the teams would be able to take it. Surprising that Redlands actually did manage to knock off the Rockhampton boys. Rockhampton have one of the best players in the game in Dave Zanetti. And the Redlands boys managed to take it to them and get the win. Can't go past the Redlands boys at the moment, but Rockhampton, I think, can beat anyone on their day, particularly with such an inspirational leader. We saw Dave Zanetti and his inspiration in the World Cup over in Malaysia in the men's 35s division. And he's one of the best players. Hopefully he can drag them across the line, but then you've also got the likes of the Russell boys playing for Redlands in their home affiliate. So plenty of talent on show, and if Gold Coast can scrape in, you never know what could happen.
Love drives in, 5th touch. Hall picks up again, goes that left to right again. Throws it on an absolute dime. What a ball that was from Jacob Hall. Finished off nicely in the corner. Another team not to write off as well, Lukey boy. As we see the replay, that is an absolute ripper. Is the Townsville boys, who are sitting in 3rd at the moment. They've got absolute talent strewn across their team as well, led by Sean Francis, Michael Law. The boys coming all the way down from the north. They're going to be thereabouts as well when we come into semi-final action this afternoon.
Exactly right. They came away with the NRL Touch Premiership division. They took that out at the SCG against a very tough Newcastle Knights side. Michael Law, Sean Francis steering them around, so I think they'll be one to watch as well. So it's pretty exciting. You've got a lot of talent spread across all of their home affiliates, as referee Weirs found a late pass from the Palm Beach team. Let's see what Gold Coast can do coming out of their own end.
They come back in field now. One of the Gold Coast players taking a little stumble. Mar rolls them over the halfway line. Again, this drive, and they're just picking up from half with ease and getting into the in-goal area again as we see Love. It looks like he has all the time in the world, and the support play is there for them, but it's coming off that last drive into 5th touch, and they're just picking up from half and getting the chocolates every time at the moment, the Gold Coast.
And again, you see it coming off the back of a really strong drive, and they've driven that ball all the way through, put the pressure on, put the Stingrays, the Palm Beach Stingrays on the back foot, and yep, they're in to score again.
Kingston Lamberg with the try there for the Gold Coast. As the sun starts to break through. It was a little bit overcast this morning. I thought quite a few of the players would have been pretty happy when they woke up to see the overcast conditions, but they're not going to last, and the heat is starting to rise out here at Coomera.
You can feel it under the tent here where we are.
Absolutely. I've just reached for the shades. Nathan Jones tries to go the quick tap.
Told to go back, take it again. Not too quick there, Jonesy.
So ball in hand now for Jones. Brings back in field. Hadwin, left to right. Nice contact in the ruck. Forces an error. 2.5 to go. 5-0 Gold Coast in complete control of this one. Jesse Curtis drives down the side. He dishes from half. That's Watts now. So that's that variation that you see when teams actually driving down their opposition side of the field. Gives their open side players a chance to get onto the field. And the Coast have it finished off again with Jordan Watts slamming this one down. They're not taking the foot off the accelerator at the moment, the Gold Coast.
Absolutely not. Gold Coast performing here at their home on the Gold Coast. If you haven't been to the Gold Coast City of Gold Coast has a variety of local restaurants and cafes, so treat yourself and the family to a fresh new taste of the Gold Coast. Visit destinationgoldcoast.com/restaurants to find out more. There's always plenty to do on the Gold Coast. World-class theme parks, animal encounters, a kick back on the beach and some sunshine. As we see the Palm Beach boys looking to get in there, but the Gold Coast have allowed that to hit the deck, and they'll work it out from their own end.
Yeah, just dipping in between the wing and the link on that occasion. It was half a chance. It was a nice pick up from half. There's Tarquin Kennedy Brown on that occasion. Michael Singh just steadies his ship. The veteran manages to get them forward every occasion here. He's got the football. He comes off into the interchange box now. Mixed open representative for Australia. Another good chance here for Gold Coast to get points before the halftime break. Lamberg, Tyler Ward in the middle of the park. Lamberg's had a good first half here for the Gold Coast. Got a try and a couple of assists as well. Gives early ball to Mar. Mar comes back in field to Kingston. Lamberg. He takes that one. Another one on the board for him. And the 7th on the board. Nice work from Lamberg. Just Johnny on the spot. Didn't really have to do any more than catch that one and plonk it over the line. Nathan Jones from the tap-off tries to lay the platform. A half-time siren goes in the background. Edwin tries to crab across field. The touch has been made, and the Gold Coast are in real control of this one. Potentially might be looking to rack up a score to boost their for and against. And we're going to head down to the sideline now. Luke has Peter Norman from the Gold Coast team.
Thanks very much, Scott. I've got Pete Norman with me, Australian men's player, but also the captain of the Gold Coast side. How's the first half been? You look like you're in control.
Yeah, we're putting together some good footy. We've had a few inconsistent games and sort of losing a couple of games just by one or drawing, but it's really good to put a complete half together.
And how's it feeling? The sun's come out. It's a little bit warm.
Yeah, a bit of rain last night, so plenty of humidity up here, but I'd rather be hot than get it pouring down rain, so I think we're a bit lucky.
And what do you think the message will be at half-time?
Much of the same, mate. So we got to win this one, and then hopefully Redlands do their job on the other field, and then build into the semi-finals hopefully.
Excellent work. Well, let you get back to your team. Thanks very much, mate.
Thanks, mate.
All the best for the second half. Back to you, Scotty.
Thank you, Luke, and big thanks to Pete Norman as well, giving his insights there as the Gold Coast boys look to seal this one and claim a finals position for later on this afternoon. We'll take a quick break here at the half-time. Gold Coast in control, 7-0 over to Palm Beach. Second half is back underway here between Palm Beach and Gold Coast. Score correction as well. 8-0 is the score here. Gold Coast in complete control as Dave Marr tries to kick out. He turns it back in field. Marr again. Nice little extra pass within the 5. Just ran into each other there. Tough one to pick up. Did a good job, Dave, to be able to play on. And they'll actually pick the penalty up as well. So they'll be happy with that. 6 more touches. Marr trying to get the Gold Coast players to come out. Love stretches out, makes the touch.
Really
the same.
Quite interested to see how the Stingrays come out of their half-time talk to see what they've got, see what they can do in this second half.
So Kennedy cross field, Marr off the wrap. Gold Coast there in numbers. Early ball from Marr. They got him stretched. That's down. Tristan Wagg's going to claim the touch. Referees come together. All clear. Yeah, it looked like the ball was down. So good to start there for the second half. They did a great job. You can see a lot of Gold Coast players compressing in to make the touch there. They really had to get on their bike, Tristan Wagg, to make the touch. Couldn't get there in the end. That's a good finish from the number 6, Craig Maddock.
Happy with that decision. Referees right on the spot. Can't argue anything when they're right there. They can see it, make the split-second decision. And Gold Coast have let the Stingrays in. I don't think they're in danger of losing the match just yet, but stranger things have happened.
Norman skips across, players offside, looking to take advantage. Referee will send him back to his mark. Norman taps. Very short, contact, good defence as well, coming in from the right-hand side. Shut that one down, Jacob Hall. Going to get back-to-back penalties here, moving forward.
So teams needing to move forward with the intent of making a touch. What we don't want to see is a standoff happening where defence won't move forward and the attack won't move forward either. So 2 penalties on the line. Gold Coast will look to capitalise.
Tawi. Ball in one hand. Norman goes to Hall. Hall plays out the back. They try to put back on the inside. They're pretty adventurous trying to claim the 6 to go on that occasion.
I think that's a fair call from the referees. There's no way that Stingrays player was going in to play at the ball. They're always going for that touch. And the bat back, I'm not sure, may have drifted forward as well. So Stingrays working out from their own end. Let's see what they can do.
Changes onto the park. Marr steadies the ship. Hadwin tries to pick up, loses his footing a little bit, just running straight in towards the Gold Coast wall, but that wall didn't get back on side to the referee's liking.
Pete Norman not happy with that decision. Don't think he's ever happy when he's penalised. Arguing the case with young Lockie Freshwater, one of the more experienced referees, young and up and coming. Let's see what the Stingrays can come up with here.
Edwin trying to get on the outside. Tawi makes the touch, so good job. He's been turning it on in attack throughout this match. Makes a big touch there on Hadwin. Another penalty.
Again, Pete doing what any good captain would do, having a chat to the referees, finding out what it's for. But then getting back up in defence. He's definitely someone who'll look to muscle up in defence, as he does there with a little bit of a push. He's got to be careful here, Pete. And he's been 4 subs, so he'll sprint to the sub box as they get a fresh player on.
They've got the numbers advantage somewhere, but they can't find it yet. As Love comes back onto the field, back onto a 6-on-6 situation with both teams. No half. Maddock does a good job to get there in the end. Marr fires long, gets good contact in the touch. Hadwin goes short to Maddock. Michael Singh just clutching at the knee. Hadwin couldn't get away with that one. Penalty here for the Gold Coast. As Brett Freshwater has a chat with Dave Marr.
That's Lockie Freshwater, young
Oh.
baby freshie.
Of course, of course, of course.
Sure, Brett will be happy you think that's him out there, moving nice and quick.
Just an absolute slip of the tongue, because every time I see Brett, he's not moving all that well. Always looks like he's injured.
Tell you what, he is looking fit though. He's doing plenty of gym work, but still manages to keep up with young Lockie. Young Lockie might have to do a bit of work to keep up with his old man.
Oh, touch has been claimed here. Nice work. Looked like Lamberg was going to stroll over for another try. And it's good desperation, down by 7. We had every right just to let that one roll through. Put the body on the line. Great work to hold that one out. End up holding out the Gold Coast for the set. Ooh, little bobble, good catch. Jared Whitaker wheeling that one in. Down there, sub-box side they go. Changes onto the park. Nice pick up from half. It's taken a deflection. And Tom puts his hand up. 6 more touches here for Palm Beach. Can they get their second on the board? Sweep. Hadwin goes straight back in. A little bit of a wrestle for the ball. Going for the one-on-one strip. The penalty given again. So another repeat set here for Palm Beach.
See what they can come up with, Palm Beach. They've got it all to play for. Gold Coast still in control of this match, but Palm Beach turning the ball over. They won't be happy with that.
Yeah, early in the touch count as well. Hadwin is probably a little bit too close to the line. Picked it up from half, and the Gold Coast defence was there. He shut him down straight away. No options to link up with. Too many on the field here for the Gold Coast. Oh. So trying to question the decision as well.
Like any good captain would, having a chat, just asking in a very nice way, what was that penalty for, ma'am?
Yeah, that's how I heard it as well.
But nevertheless, Gold Coast will need to muscle up in defence, and they have, forcing the error from the Stingrays. I don't think it'll matter too much. The fact they had 7 players on the field, and they've received a penalty as well, because the last pass has gone forward.
Norman dishes to Curtis. Hall goes back in field to Curtis, so he's doing all the hard work for the Coast. Here's another one for him. That's a tough ball back on the inside from Tristan Wag. Puts his hand up. Acknowledgement wasn't one of his finest. Turn possession over. Nathan Jones studies the ship here for Palm Beach. Marr back onto the field. Like to see Marr and Jones link up together. And it might happen here. As Marr picks up, goes short to Jones, taking a deflection. And they're just running straight into Gold Coast defence at the moment. They're playing quite compressed. There's no avenues for them available through the middle.
Now, Gold Coast is defensively looking really strong. It'd be good to see them go up a gear just to show us all what they've got. I hope they're not holding back too much, because they will have some tough opponents coming through. Pete Norman looking to try and earn a penalty. I don't want to say the word, but it looked like a little bit of a milk. He's working hard. He's the ultimate competitor in this Gold Coast side as the team continues all the way through. But a ball down called by the referee. I think the Gold Coast side just need to play a little bit smart in this second half. There's only about 5 minutes remaining. They want to make sure they get through this game without any issues. The last thing they need is someone to be sent to the bin or have any issues going into the next round of games.
Palm Beach are rolling into the line nicely here. Marr tries to fire it over. Michael Singh picks that one off. Roll on the 5. They come out towards the right-hand side of the field. They'll work towards the sub-box again. Singh, another hit up on the stat sheet. Tyler Ward.
Gets through plenty of work, Michael Singh, as he gets into the sub-box for a well-deserved breather.
Lamberg goes short to Curtis. Penalty given for the touch and pass. Palm Beach tap. Dylan Jennings going across field for Palm Beach. Chris Chung playing the ball. Chung receives again. Hadwin back onto the park. Kennedy goes down for Hadwin. Hadwin tries to float a real looping left to right. No options there. Mike Phillips ready to answer the call there for the Coast if required. Wasn't on that occasion. We can also see Jaden Love in front of us here in the Gold Coast sub box. Those tuning in on a Friday might have seen, picked up a knee injury. He's on crutches. As Wayne Unuai goes down the sideline and having to stretch out to make the touch. Good job as well. Wayne is lightning quick.
I thought he might have gotten away there. Norman with the ball. Long ball out to the wing. Looks for the pass back on the inside. Making it look easy, the Gold Coast side. Referee will point to the spot. Another try on the board for the Gold Coast.
Yeah, 9th one. 9-1 is the score. Nice work from Mike Phillips as well. Just took his time. Tyler Ward supporting back on the inside. A couple of young players on the rise on the Gold Coast. Mike got his Titans Premiership debut. I think Tyler might have got a run as well this year. If not, he's a whisker away. A couple of young bucks on the way up for the Coast. Just keep producing more stars. One of the strongest affiliates in the country for a number of years. Ma gets into the in-goal area. Did he get that down? A touch has been made.
Look good from here. It's probably why we're not refereeing from where we're sitting. Referee's called last touch. That's Lockie Freshwater in the middle, not to be confused with his more experienced dad.
Yeah, who would
Brett,
do that?
Who would get those two confused?
2.5 to go here. I'm not quite sure on the result. Colts and Crushers. If you're looking at the results across the tournament, it's tough to say that Redlands would go into that one favourites. Obviously the Gold Coast, as we heard at halftime with Pete Norman, are expecting Redlands to win. If they do that, and with the score result here, excuse me, you would expect Gold Coast to take the final spot in the finals this afternoon as Singh pushes that one through the line. It's going to be called forward. Oh, it's actually touch and pass. The trend that we see more and more now in the touch game. They really take it to the line and actually try to thread it behind the defensive line. It's a pretty tough skill to be able to do and execute. It's Jones. Gives it out to Dave Marr. And take the space down here on the left-hand side of the field. Really starting to heat up out there on the park now. As Jones goes through the middle. Mixed final action as it's 5th touch here. Margot short to Hadwood. Hadwood comes out the left-hand side of the field again. But yeah, mixed semi-final, which is coming up. It'll be a little bit later than the scheduled time of 10 o'clock. There's been a couple of drop-offs here this morning. So those two teams out here on field 1, it'll be Brothers taking on Caboolture. That's the first semi-final in the mixed Division A competition. And Women's Premier semi-final to take place on field 1 after that. Palm Beach trying to get another one on the board. The experience of Dave Marr just takes his time to give the ball back to the mark. Gold Coast still trying to claim a penalty. Every opportunity that they can. They're up by an absolute squillion. Still looking for the penalty for not returning the ball to the mark. You can see the pace of the game is just starting to reduce. Fair enough, it's been a big campaign for both teams in the men's premier competition this weekend. Ty Love picks up, goes short to Jacob Hall. And he will put this one down. Has a little look at the clock as well. So there's 15 seconds left to go in this match, and I think both teams might start shaking hands. Gold Coast get their 10th on the board, and they'll finish off with a 10-1 win over Palm Beach. Comprehensive win there for Gold Coast, and as mentioned, still results to wait and hear from the Colts and Redlands Crushers match But it looks like Gold Coast might have secured a semi-final place. Those semi-finals in the men's premier will be later on this afternoon. The final to take place at 2 o'clock. As both teams shake hands on field. As mentioned, semi-final action coming up your way in the mixed Division A competition. Brothers playing Caboolture in that one. And that looks like it'll be an absolute cracker of a match as well. We're going to head on to field as well with Luke. He's got one of the players.
Oh, Michael, here, convincing win. How does it feel? Last round of the game, last round game, going into the finals.
Yeah, it was always going to be tough on the third day. Everybody's tired, and we had to come out and do a job. So we came out, got our job done. We just got to hope some results go our way, and then hopefully we can play this afternoon.
And your performance personally, do you feel like you can go up a gear, or how are you feeling out here on day 3?
Oh, mate, I'm pretty old, so I'm tired and run down. But coming semi-finals, everyone goes an extra leg. So you got to go. You're 100 miles an hour. You just got to put your best foot forward and let your footy do the talking, mate.
I saw Pete out there talking to the refs, always looking for the edge. How is it playing with Pete Norman? He's your inspirational captain. How does he pull your team along?
Mate, he leads by example. He's one of the leaders in the Australian camp. He's been there for a long time. He's done a lot. And so the boys always look after him. So when he leads by example, we always follow him, and it's a pleasure to play next to him, mate.
Well, go and enjoy the win, mate. All the best for the rest of the tournament, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you in the semi-finals.
Thanks, mate.
Back to you, Scotty.
Thanks, Luke, and a big thanks to Michael Singh as well, joining us on the field. We'll just take a quick break here. Both teams on the mixed open semi-final are making their way onto the park. We might actually stay with action, as it's a short turnaround between breaks, trying to catch up a little bit of time after some of the drop-offs which have taken place out here. We can see Brothers coming onto the field now. So they've had a pretty good campaign, the Brothers mixed open side. As we get underway here with Brothers, first possession in the mixed open semi-final. They'll go into this one favourites, you would have to say, over Caboolture. Look at the hands, and picked off in the corner. Touch has been made. So Brothers fire off. Tony Wells out there, Rasmussen as well.
Not square on that occasion, playing the ball on an angle, so you have to play it facing the opponent's dead ball line. Didn't quite square it up, so unfortunately they'll turn the ball over.
Yeah, so Brothers coming into this one without a loss throughout the tournament, which is a pretty amazing feat considering they played 9 round games. Finishing with a plus 40 for and against differential as well. Caboolture are doing a nice job here rolling into Brothers' line. It's a nice right to left, just dipping down in front of the hands of the number 4 from Caboolture, Taylor Curtis. So Caboolture finishing 4th, 5 wins, 3 losses. The other semi-final taking place, Springfield Stingers and Palm Beach Stingrays. So the winners of both these matches will go through to the final later on this afternoon. It should take place at 12:20. So it'll be tough right in the middle of the day as the temperatures start to rise. Tony Wells for Brothers, one to watch. New Zealand Women's Open representative at the recent World Cup.
Super quick Tony Wells. We've seen that throughout the tournament. Lightning fast. I think she'd have most of the blokes covered for pace in these teams. As Brothers in to score, all clear from the referees.
Point to the spot, opening points here for Brothers on the boards. We see the replay, it's a nice left to right there from Will Briston. And a lot of these players within the Brothers team have just played an absolute bucket load of touch football together. A lot of them representing their club team also watch the feet. A lot of touch football tournaments around the country.
Bundy Cup, one of the biggest
Cup.
cash comps.
Bundy Cup, they've been a regular at the Bundy Cup since its inception.
Prize pool of over $20,000. So if you think you have a good touch football team, head to the Bundy Cup in 2020. could be walking away with a hand full of cash in Bundaberg.
Looping ball as Neen takes the deflection. One of my favourite players, Jardy Neen. There's not too many who can actually pull off playing in a full straw hat without having any effect. It was blowing a gale out here yesterday, and that hat doesn't move, doesn't slow him down. I think he's all one for sun protection. Jardy's always had a bucket hat or some sort of hat on, but I don't think there's too many that roll around with the big straw hat.
I was on commentary yesterday with James Harrington, who's the assistant coach of that Stingrays side, who unfortunately went down in that game against the Gold Coast, and he was pretty critical on Jardy, talking about the straw hat. We started calling him the straw man.
Oh, harsh.
But he definitely backs it up, and he's even got the club logo on his straw hat, so he's in uniform.
Dedication.
He's in uniform. It's absolute dedication, in uniform, dedication to the game, and dedication to not getting sunburnt as well.
Exactly. Good player in his own right, Jardy. Had some Elite 8 experience prior to the NRL connection with the Queensland clubs, playing for the Queensland Chiefs. Will Briston as well. Michael Rasmussen, playing for Queensland Chiefs back in the day. So a really strong team out here with brothers, but there's some good players as well, good young players here from the Caboolture side. Quite a few that have come through Queensland junior development programs recently. Reid Feary and Cameron Feary. Taylor Curtis. Curtis name's pretty synonymous with touch football in Caboolture as well. As brothers regain possession. Hayley Crotty as well. Seen her dad, I think he might actually be coaching one of the brothers' senior women's sides, so not too sure how Hayley feels about that. Neen, it's on the outside. Briston
Can't miss Neen. The straw hat is in the middle of the park. Takes control with the ball in the hand now.
Silky smooth ball skills. Look at him pick up from half. Goes left to right. Oh, we haven't done him too much justice on that left to right ball. It's a bit wonky out of the hands. Just bounces off the back of the number 4 there for Caboolture. That's Taylor Curtis. Picks up good metres as well. Great work there from Taylor. Comes off and makes a substitution. 13 and 14 of the Fury brothers. Cameron in the 14. Brother Reid also coming off. The ball's down here. So good work from Caboolture to get their first one on the board. And that really came from that transition set as changes were rolling onto the field. That just took the space and gets on the outside. That's a great finish there from Thomas Griffin.
Levels the scores up.
Yeah, I think that's the key for Caboolture. They've just got to hang with brothers. We know brothers have got strike and they can pull tries out of absolutely anywhere. They've got to go with the brothers team. They've got to be strong in defence and try and stop the bleeding, but Wells puts the foot to the floor. They take the space, they draw the 2-on-1, and after leaking points down the other end, they flip the switch and they get one of their own.
Working very strong down that sideline. Travelling very quick, and if you are looking to do some travel with your sports teams, make sure you look at All Sports Travel, who are the preferred travel partner of Queensland Touch Football. Over 30 years experience with Sporting Group travel specialists. They have group buying power with all the major airlines and accommodation suppliers and can assist with additional travel arrangements, including airport and group transfers. All Sports Travel, take a look for your next group travel trip.
Fury goes from half, they go right to left, nice take. Got the number 5, that's Hayley Crotty, goes back in field, 5th touch. Looking for the penalty there for offside. Reid, couldn't get it. Ooh, just gets clipped. O'Brien having to stretch out to make that touch. Fury almost getting on the outside. Wells again, makes metres. She'll take another hit up. Throws the dummy, picks up an extra 3 or 4. Nice job, Fury comes up, puts pressure on in the middle. Rasmussen receives it back from Green. Green has to work to get into the acting half position. Pumps it, gets into the in-goal area. Now links up with Rasmussen. And hat being thrown down on the ground. Jake McPaul frustrated, and probably deservedly so. They had them covered in defence there. Just fell for the dummy. Fury not able to recover in the middle. And absolutely filthy Jake McPaul. 3-1.
Yeah, not too happy with that try being let in. He's still talking to his teammates. Probably a bit disappointed. They probably come into this game knowing that they're coming up against the best, or one of the best teams in this division. Though, two-horse race, still plenty of time. Only 2 behind. So, Caboolture, if they can keep it together, you never know what could happen.
Griffin dishes out to Thomas. Another set of brothers out here for Caboolture. It's Brennan in the 10. Pick up, go short to Brennan. Brennan tries to get underneath, doesn't get there. Touch made there from Willie Briston. Last touch here for Caboolture. Oh, well, out of absolutely nowhere, Thomas Griffin on that occasion on 5th play, there wasn't really too much going, just received a great ball. Looked like it might have been on the out. There's just a huge space there available. Matthew Redeker probably getting caught out position-wise in defence, and that's a nice little try there for Caboolture. Keeps him back within 1.
Some excellent work there down that end, scoring, and also behind the dead ball line down there is the Inferno tent. Inferno, the official apparel supplier of Queensland touch football, and Inferno set out to develop and fulfill the needs of the modern athlete and supporter, from training and competition uniforms to general everyday lifestyle clothing and off-field wares. Looks like the brothers have hit straight back.
Yeah, Reed Fury just couldn't quite get across. He's pretty frustrated as well. He's in position. We see the replay come up. He was outstretched to make the touch and just couldn't get it done. Lets the referee know. Another touch on the board. Another try, I should say. That's the 4th. 4-2. Brothers back out by 2.
Really keeping Caboolture at bay. Basically saying anything you can do, we can do better. And Caboolture will just look to try and stay with brothers as they step. And they've answered straight back. Down that end, the Inferno end.
They've got plenty of strikeout on the park as well, Caboolture. So you can see, while brothers have got a lot of tricks up their bag and create points pretty much at ease, they've got plenty of strikeout here as well, Caboolture. It's pretty tough mixed open competition, so they're no mugs, that's for sure, to get a semi-final spot here at the Queensland State Cup.
I think that if Caboolture can hang with this brothers side for the first half, we only have about 3.5 minutes remaining. If they can hang with them, stay within 1 or 2 tries, maybe even level it up, they're definitely a chance in the second half.
As Rasmussen picks up, fires a beautiful left to right, and they have hit on the chest. Tracy Hill out on the right-hand side. Former Queensland representative as well, the under-20s division. So, what a ripping left to right ball there to bring up the 5th for brothers.
Marlon Doak in the number 7. You can see he's got his arm heavily bandaged, doing plenty of work. He's one of the players to watch. Exceptional skill and speed. Not sure how he'd go in a 100-metre sprint, but he's got the speed and skill that's needed for touch football. As Caboolture will look to hit straight back, try and keep themselves within 1 try leading into half-time.
Pumping the big dummies here, Jake McPaul. Gets it back as well, throws right to left. What a ripper. Absolute corker. It's going to be a shootout. Who knows what the score's going to be at the back end of this one. LaCurtis finishes this off. Look at McPaul. Hits LaCurtis on the chest. And that is an absolute corker. And Jacob McPaul as well, been part of the Queensland Junior Development Program over the last few years. It shows why he's one to watch in this Caboolture side for years to come. So, almost a minute and a half left to go here in the first half. Brothers again, they'll be looking to push this lead out. Rasmussen, early ball, Doak to Tony Wells, who runs a nice link line. And again, as soon as Caboolture score, they hit back straight away here, Brothers. And I think they'll be looking to at least just keep this 2-try buffer. It just keeps them within a comfortable position. But if they can get a stop, a couple of stops as well, that'll just give them that extra little bit of space over Caboolture. Caboolture have done a great job as well. When Brothers score, they come back. McPaul again goes short. Just takes a little bit of a bobble out of the hands there of Brennan Griffin. That's unlucky. We're on the sniff again. 43 seconds left to go. Big stop here for Caboolture going into the halftime break. Wells pumps it back in field. Brothers just roll over the halfway line now. This will be the last touch coming up. Doak picks up from half, puts the foot down. Still going is Doak. Ball in one hand, still holds it within one hand, flicks it back on the inside. Tracy Hill takes it, but that is good scramble defence. That's a big stop right before the halftime break. They would have pushed out Brothers to a 3-try advantage. A good play. McPaul takes an extra couple of seconds. Caboolture will be happy to take the touch here. Occurs now and half-time break. Well, it's a pretty good game we've got on our hands here. This is a mixed open semi-final. 6-4 is the score. Brothers leading this one. We'll head down to the sideline. Luke Heckendorf's got one of the Caboolture players.
One of the best teams in the mixed division. What's the plan for the second half?
We're just going to start running. That's our major. That was our focus. D hard and run hard. That's all you can do against a good team like this.
And in the first half, you've stuck with them. Every time they've scored, you've hit straight back. Is that the plan, just to stick with them and hopefully grind out a win?
I think if we get into the grind, we have a good shot. Frustrating them and hopefully getting them off balance and out of their game plan would be the idea, yeah.
Excellent work. Get back with your team. All the best second half, mate. Back to you, Scotty. Second half action coming right up.
Thanks, Luke. We'll take a quick break here as the two teams get some water in. We'll do the same. Hot conditions out here at Coomera. Halftime score here, Brothers 6 over Caboolture 4, mixed open semi-final. Welcome back to Field 1 action here. Semi-final about to take place. Well, it already has taken place. What am I talking about? Second half, I should say, is about to get underway. Caboolture are hanging in with Brothers at the moment. 6-4 is the score. And pretty good insight that you had with your interview there at halftime, Luke, that they're just looking to hang in with Brothers. And that's what we sort of suggested through the call as well, and just grind out a win. But they got to stick with them here in the second half.
Yeah, I think if their heads drop, if they let a couple of tries in early, the heads might drop, and it may turn into an ugly scoreline for them. But I'm sure if Caboolture can come out, get one or two real quick tries onto the board, it's anyone's game, and Caboolture may be able to grind out a win against the table toppers.
Strong contact in the touch. In the previous play, they'll be looking for a positive start here for the second half. If they can get one, right to left, just bounces off the back there of Tisha Gavin. So couldn't quite pull that one off. Jake McPaul with the pass on that occasion. Had a pretty good first half. Got a couple of good try assists. Tony Wells back into Neen. They've come out with a bit of intensity here. And it's been picked up. I think it might be the forward pass is the call.
So these two teams, they met in round 1 with Brothers just getting the win 5-4 over Caboolture. So Caboolture knows that they can hang with them, and hopefully they can turn that score around. Round 1 though, it's always a tough one to read the form because they've come straight in to a tournament, and a lot of teams will build throughout. So Brothers may be one of those teams who have built throughout the tournament, but Caboolture, they'll take a lot from that first game in round 1, and hopefully they can come back and really put it to the Brothers in the second half.
Yeah, there's half a chance on that previous raid. Look at it steaming onto the ball here, Doak. It just goes away from the half. Will Briston pops out Rasmussen, goes back in, silky ball skills. Rasmussen picks up with the left hand, comes out to the left-hand side of the field. They're pretty well covered numbers-wise, but just managing to evade. The outside defence there from Caboolture. Aiton couldn't quite recover in the end. So nice work from Brothers, and they've come out with a bit of spark here in the second half.
Yeah, it's dangerous times for Caboolture. Now they're sitting a couple of tries down against Brothers. They'd have to be the next ones to score, you would think, if they are to stay in this semi-final.
7-4 with the biggest lead of the match so far. So look to go the wraparound play, dive underneath.
It looked good to me.
Sure,
just got the touch.
Might have been short of the line, I'm not too sure, but it was pretty close.
Referees once again on the spot.
Beautiful.
And I wouldn't mind having another look at this put down. Let's have a look and see on the replay at the put down. It looked like he may have bobbled it, or maybe he just slammed it down. Let's take a look.
Now I'm backing him in. Ethan Sorrell. Bang.
Yeah, he slammed that straight down.
Our man from the halftime interview gets the job done, so doing what he preaches at the moment, keeps him again within striking distance. 7-5 is the score.
Around the grounds, 5-all Palm Beach for Springfield.
Around the grounds scores thanks to Tristan Manor. 5-all is the score in the second semi-final between Springfield and Palm Beach. That's an absolute ripper, so both winning teams will go through to the final later on this afternoon. A tight one out on the backfields in the second semi-final. Brothers get the penalty.
So interesting, all locked up in the second semi. As we see Queensland Touch High Performance Manager Tristan Mana absolutely pumped to be here watching the skills on show. I'm sure he'd love to be out there actually playing as well. But he's put it together. High performance programs in Queensland, and we can see it all happening on field 1 at the moment with Brothers back on the inside to Wells.
It's going to be called forward.
So no try, forward pass. And I think the referee's got that one right in the corner.
Oh.
And Caboolture storming away. I think the legs looking a little tired on day 3 of a tournament. you'd probably back him in the first game of a tournament. Jardinine stepped around in the straw hat. Need to pick up his defence. See what Caboolture can do on the back of the intercepts.
Yeah, Kerr doing a good job to pick up some extra metres. She's in the interchange box now. They're well covered in the middle. Paul taking a shot. That's the number 7, Sorrel. She's just caught off balance. I think it's a fair call.
Yeah, fair call by the refs. He was already falling down that way. Wasn't a hard touch. Yes, he did fall over, but if you're off balance, unfortunately, that's on you to hold your position, and he just fell backwards. You don't get a penalty in touch just because you fall backwards.
So Rediker goes forward, looking for a penalty. Green picks up from half. Shapes to go back infield. They do now. They force them back into the field of play. They'll get the penalty as well. Touch and pass. Caboolture back underway. 7-5 is the score here. This is the first semi-final in the mixed open division. Good job to hold on to the football. Play through the middle now with Fury. Pick up from half. They've got numbers out here, but they're running out of space and room. McPaul couldn't bring that one back in.
Brothers still leading by 2. If they can stretch the lead with only about 8 or 9 minutes, 8.5 minutes to go. I think if they can stretch it to 3 or maybe 4, Caboolture might be in a bit of trouble.
Doak gives it to Rasmussen. He is forced back infield, but they're rolling into the line really nicely here. They choose to kick out. Early ball and dropped over the line. Michael Rasmussen with open pastures in front of him. Couldn't reel that one in. So was that a pivotal moment here? They still got that buffer, as we made mention, but they really would have stretched them back out.
You hope that doesn't come back to bite them. If Caboolture hit back in this set, they'll be looking at it and thinking, we could have been 3 up. Now we're at only 1 up. So Caboolture, all to play for in the second half. See what they can come up with as they just lost the ball. Might be a little bit of a twinge on the number 53.
Yeah, O'Brien in the background, like he grabbed an Achilles or a calf. He's just heading off into the substitution box now. The previous set, the lead-up work that Brothers did was outstanding. They just continued to roll into the line, and they're choosing to kick out as well. And a beautiful ball just bouncing off the chest of Michael Rasmussen, who heads over into the substitution box now. But good field position off the error from Caboolture. Straight back onto the attack. And pull back out now. So we're starting to head towards the 5 metre line. Rediker into half, gives to Doak. Doak goes short to Willie Briston. Nice line, good footwork. Well, not really footwork required there, but the silky ball work there of Marlon Doak at the forefront. There's that 3-try advantage they were looking for. As we see the replay, it's a nice little short left to right pass from Doak.
If you are watching at home and interested in working in sport or fitness, College of Sport and Fitness, a nationally accredited training provider with over 12 years experience. And in 2019, they've partnered with Queensland Touch Football to deliver a certificate 2 and 3 in sports coaching and sport and recreation, and specialises in touch footy. So head to College of Sport and Fitness. You'll receive your level 1 referee and foundation coach touch football certificates throughout the course. College of Sport and Fitness, partnered with Queensland Touch Football this year.
Caboolture back on the attack with McPaul. He goes across field, tries to get on the outside of his defender. Briston puts the dive in, shuts that one down for Caboolture so they can't claw their way back in. 5.5 to go here in the mixed semi-final. Oh, a little bit of a juggle. And manages to get some extra metres as well. Great job there from Kennington. Heads into the box now. It's Rediker. Again, drives forward. He's been doing a great job at that And throws a right to left as well, but it's hit Aiton. They'll come back and pick up for the forward pass infringement.
It's good refereeing, allowing that advantage to see if they can gain some metres off the intercept. But touch is made and they receive the penalty. But unfortunately, turn it over. The referee's saying didn't play it square.
Yeah, unlucky from Caboolture. And this might just be the time where brothers put the icing on the cake. They've got 1 foot in the door in towards that final later on this afternoon.
Might be able to give you a score update on the other one when it comes through.
As Jesse Green comes across field, Doak, right foot, rips long and flat. And there it is, Jesse Green. Johnny on the spot. This is a ripping ball as well from Doak. Comes off the right foot, low and flat and hard. Absolutely nothing the Caboolture defence could have done about that one. Ninth try on the board now for brothers, and they're starting to stretch away.
They are stretching away, and we'll see what Caboolture can come up with. They want to make sure that they do finish this competition on a high. Only got just under 4 minutes to go, and I think it's a long way back for them at the moment. But stranger things have happened in touch footy. Brothers will be looking to hold on and lead themselves into the final.
Caboolture back on the attack, and Doak up in the line, snatches that one away. Next up on field one, we've got women's premier semi-final action, and UQ Rebels will be taking on brothers in that one. We saw brothers a little bit earlier on this morning. Actually, both teams played. There was Rebels that played brothers this morning, wasn't it?
Played, so that's where the results finished up. We'll have a look at the ladder and see how the women's competition did end up. But yeah, another repeat of one of the first games of today.
Yeah, Rebels getting the win on that occasion. I think about 7-3 was the final score. So it's going to take a big effort from brothers to get back in. They were within striking distance early on, but in the second half, Rebels just really took it up another notch and just ran away from brothers. So it's a bit of a tough mental ask for teams to play the final round and then come up against each other again in the semi-final, particularly for brothers. It's all up against them. To be able to swing that result around, it's going to take a big effort for them. Touch is made on Ethan Sorrell. He got a try earlier on in the second half. Sorrell again drives in. Go the wraparound play at the back. They've got the numbers here, Caboolture, beautiful. Aiton finishes it off in the corner. Great job as well from Carly Peachy. So the 6-1 on the board for Caboolture, and they can hold their heads up high. They've had obviously a good Queensland State Cup, making his semi-final here in the mixed open division, and really testing the top team here this morning in the semi-final. They've had to work hard for it, no question. So a minute and a half left to go here in the semi-final. Brothers, no doubt, probably looking to take a little bit of time off the clock. As you can see, O'Brien just happy to put the ball through the hands. Kennington as well now, plays within the 5. Doak out there directing traffic. Preston in the 39, goes into acting half, picks up early ball, left to right. Doak jumps up in the air, fires back right to left. They've got the numbers in the corner. And they'll slam another one down. Tracy Hill getting another one on the board. Double digits for brothers. And with 40 seconds left on the clock, Caboolture will take their time. And we might get a couple of plays underway. McPaul will take the tap. Can they finish off their 2019 State Cup campaign with another try on the board. 20 seconds to go. He's taking their time. They get a little trick up their sleeve. They sweep around the back. Sorrell sends it out and just bounces off the hands there of Ayton. Ball goes into the in-goal area. And I think they'll be happy to call drinks on this one. They're starting to shake hands. And it'll be Brothers who will go through to the grand final in the mixed open. Nice win over Caboolture as well. Congratulations to them for a great campaign, as mentioned, making a semi-final here in 2019. We'll try and get the result of the second semi-final. We can see that they're shaking hands over on the backfield, so we've got a winner in that one as well. We'll bring you that as soon as we get the result. And as mentioned, Women's Premier semi-final action coming up out here on Field 1 in just a few moments' time. Brothers taking on UQ Rebels. And that'll be a cracking match as well. Grand finals coming up later on this afternoon. Women's Premier is scheduled for 1:10. And we're just waiting to see if one of the players from our Brothers will come across. Our man out on the field there, Luke Heckendorf. He's looking to grab one of the players. Looks like Jesse Green is starting to head into position now to grab the chat.
Here with Jesse. Mate, convincing win in the semi-final. Caboolture really brought it to you in that game. How'd you feel during the match?
Yeah, that first half, it was a bit scary for us. We thought, they're up for it. So we thought at half-time, coach had some good words to say, Ryan, and tidy up our defence, and our attack's going to come and try and win this middle third here, which we started to do.
Got the Stingers possibly in the final, waiting for the result to come in. Depending on who you're playing, how do you think you'll go in the final?
I think we just control what we can control. We know both the teams over there, Palmy and Stingers, have both got a lot of attack across the park. So if we can just control what we can control, we know that the rest will flow from there. Yeah, for sure.
Excellent work. Go and recover. Finals coming up. All the best. Talk to you soon. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Luke. And we'll take a short break here before we get into the Women's Premier semi-final action. UQ Rebels taking on Brothers. We'll bring you that semi-final action in just a few moments' time. Welcome back to Coomera Sports Fields. Women's Premier semi-final action is about to take place. UQ Rebels taking on Brothers in this one. Two guests with me in commentary, Michael Singh and James Sharp. Looking forward to the semi-finals taking place here, lads.
Mate, thanks for having us, Scotty. It's great to be here. Unfortunately, we both couldn't be playing this afternoon, but it'd be great to watch some good finals.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one. This will be a very tight encounter. I think both teams played each other earlier in the carnival, and I think Rebels got up by 2 or 3.
So Rebels on attack with Davis turning it back infield.
Great
And beautiful ball, Rackerman out in the corner. Sharpie, give us your great introduction considering you didn't have your microphone flicked on.
Yeah, commentary 101 for those sitting at home. Make sure you turn your microphone on. Really looking forward to this one between Brothers and UQ. They played each other a couple of times in the Metro season, and then I think they played early this morning as well. Danny Davis, nice long pass to start us off here. Rebels playing a very attractive brand of football this weekend, boys.
Yeah, mate, they love to run the ball. They use it. They have a lot of their set plays, but they just run strong. You can just see in their attack and their defence, they just love to be up and about, which is fantastic to see.
Referees have picked something up here.
Oh, she's got a watch on.
Is it Woodsy?
It is Woodsy.
How many games of football has she played in her career and has the watch on? Woodsy. Brothers back underway as English brings it across the yard and deep switch back into Woods. Woods comes against Graham, was looking for Yarden to pop back out on that occasion. Would have been half a chance there, lads.
Mate, she had her on the outside. I thought she could have kept running there. In her younger days, she definitely would have taken her there.
So
coming
Rebels
out of the
now.
box here, Rebels straight to their box pattern, rucking up the sideline. Brothers doing really well at taking some yards off them here, but we'll see what Rebels get off the back of it.
Yeah, Rebels with fresh legs flowing off the side. Great drive by young Emily Ward. 5 coming, Tiani Bryce out of half. Long pass.
Andreasen comes off the right foot, sends it back in field, goes over the head of Tiani Bryce. So they did a good job towards the back end of their set. Brothers did a pretty good job in the early stages of that to keep them pinned. Good run from Emily Ward, got them on the front foot. As Brothers now head towards their sideline. They'll get some changes on. Gleeson straightens up as they roll over the halfway line. Loose ball over the back.
Just lost count of her players there coming on. Ash was looking to take it there in the middle. I think just drive down in the middle and get a scoop, and just lost count.
So they'll play it right on the halfway line here, the Rebels. They've already got one on the board. They're going to be in a pretty good attacking position towards the back end of this set.
Sharpie, what's your go-to play here? You know the girls pretty well.
I do know the girls pretty well. I must profess that I don't think they necessarily run to an overly structured platform. Renee's got the girls with a general framework of how they want to play, and then they look at what's happening in front as Tiani Bryce sweeps round. She'll go left to right. Long pass. Ooh.
Fantastic defence there by Brothers. Just come off of the line and let her pass and chase it out. Get their result, and now they've got to ruck off for their own end. It's hot out here, so they need to make sure that they're getting out of their own end, because otherwise, second half, they're going to fold.
Susie dishes to Gleeson. Again, they come down the left-hand side of the field.
Fantastic. Kim Susie going up forward. Here we go. Here comes a strike dump here.
Nice work from Ray Barker now. English dishes outside to Woods. Yarden a little bit sloppy, and they went away, get away with that one. It was just a little bit of a fumble coming into the roll ball, it looked like, and then runner there overrunning that one. Forward pass, good pick up from the refs.
Rebels sending their box set. It's nice hands down the sideline. Good extra yards. Look for them to run back towards this right edge again, I would say. Oh, Taryn Aiken on, looking for a middle play with SJ and Taryn.
Yeah, looks like a quickie.
Aiken goes back
Nice pop
infield.
out.
Curtis close to the
Taryn.
5 early. Ball gets underneath. Referee points to the spot. So we saw that quite a few times in the semi-final when these two teams took place as well. Aiken really took control of things for the Rebels, and she's off to a flying start again here. 2-0 Rebels.
You can just see how well those two work together. They read each other without even having to call anything, and you can see they just get the set that they exactly want, get it on the 5, and Taryn with her footwork, she's unbelievable with that.
Yeah, it's almost akin to that that they play like sisters, where they just don't even have to say anything and they know what each other wants exactly at the right time as brothers coming into the attacking zone.
Susie goes to late switch deep to Blanche. Galetto again, Susie. They try the same play again. Going nice read there from Mai. Susie again links up with Carney. These two are going to have to really put on a performance out here if brothers are a chance. Susie was their main orchestrator in the match earlier on this morning as she comes in against the grain. Referee has picked up an incorrect play the ball. Looks for a ruck infringement. So they bring it up and play the ball. They get back underway with Mai. Takes the first hit up. Aiken out on the left-hand side of the field. Ooh. And a loose pass there. Good chance here for the brothers team, boys.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a contrast in styles. You can see with brothers, they like to run a lot of switches and a lot of, 32 long and pass out and switch back. I think they've got to go direct at the line, though. That's how they're going to get through these girls. Rebels are just too strong if you try and go around them.
Yarden fades across the field. English just holds up the ball. Get the sweeper coming around now. Left to right, ball out in front. This looks like it's down. Referees are happy.
Full pass, I think.
They're going to pull it back. So
that was really well done by brothers. They had their opportunity. They had the play on the wing. They just couldn't quite execute that last pass. And at this level, that's what you need to get you in the game.
Yeah, exactly right. As they come, just getting a little bit sloppy as they, a penalty.
Rebels take the tap. They'll get more changes onto the park. Bryce sends it back in field to Davis. She goes back towards Bryce. Now they head back out towards the left-hand side of the field. It's a flat ball from the ruck from Mai. They carry on. Bryce again drives in. Davis. Early ball juggled from Curtis. She fades across the park. Mai now picks it up. Holds it up. It's come off the hands of Woods. 6 to go.
I think they'll be looking to Danny Davis here, either a sweeper or she'll go an inside play and look to pass.
Yeah, that's traditionally what they've been running in the Metro Cup season last 2 years, trying to get a little bit of movement, static play to start with.
Tries to burrow in underneath. And a big out, it looks like, for brothers as well, as we look in the box in front of us here. Catherine Stevens with the shirt on and the joggers, so she's not taking part. Might have picked up an injury in the round match this morning.
And that's a big loss for brothers. She's a well-experienced player. She's played for Australia before, and she really leads these girls around. So hopefully the brothers girls can step up in her absence.
So they'll replay the ball here. Just looked a little bit of a tangle up between players. The referee is happy just to let them play that again and carry on. Davis comes against the grain, goes left to right, steps in front of Goodsill, couldn't reel that one in. Pretty happy with their defence there. The box went up there for brothers.
Yeah, they're up and about, especially after defending a repeat set on the line. That's obviously one of the big concerns when you play this Rebel side. You don't want to give them too much ball on the line, so anytime you can hold them out, they're going to be, as a great drive by Ray Barker coming fresh off the box.
Down for Kim Susi here. She'll look to go short side with her foot speed. Catch and pass in the wing. Ooh, just a touch pass there. Just got her just as she released it. But that's a really good set coming off their own line, brothers. They defended it out, went the whole length of the field and got an opportunity. So they're working their way back into the game here.
More changes on now for the Rebels. Nice exchange of passing, just picking up extra metres. Draper gets one in the back. She'll head over towards the sideline now.
Yeah, this Rebel side definitely not afraid to use the ball and check it back on the inside as Taryn Aiken picks up from half.
You can see it's definitely not a preferred option is to pass left to right. She would rather go footwork there, and so that's really well done by brothers, taking her away from her A game, and they're getting their results at the moment. So they just need to find a way to get on the board here, and they could work their way back into this game.
Nice roll into the line there from Gleeson. Yarden throws the dummy to Galetto. Gives early ball. Nice hands from Kelly Woods. She goes back in field to Gleeson. She's trying to switch up the point of attack, but they're running straight into Rebels defenders on that occasion. Donovan rolls forward.
Ball down. Here's their chance. Here's their chance, brothers. I think I'd really like them to see a sweeper with Kim Susi and Ash Carney, and they throw a little quarterback. I think that's where they're going to crack them. Go through the line rather than try and pass around them.
Yeah, they definitely need their top players to step up here and get on the field. I think we've got
Talia there, we've got Brooke English.
And Woodsy as well. Yeah. So look for Woodsy to kind of orchestrate their attack here as they bounce out.
Good. Comes back in field,
like
roll right on the 5.
Early release.
Oh, Barker almost pops on the outside. Marama Thomas. Yarden from half. Goes to Woods. Goes to fake switch. Cuts on the outside. Just running out of space. Touch made there on Dawson. Come back in field. No, they head back down
on the line.
Yeah, 6 touch, so they're happy just to finish in the corner there, brothers.
Intelligent play though. If you can kill it on your own box side, at least you've got to make the Rebels work to get all the way across. Hopefully take some meters off them early as they're rolling towards that sub-box area.
Fantastic work by Rebels. You can see they just worked out of their box nice and easy. They're making the yards. They're going to go down for Danny Davis here.
Pop the extra ball out. Now they come back in field to Davis. She throws the big dummy.
There we go, in through the middle and short ball.
Oh, and skipping on the outside as Brooke English made the touch. I think she's claiming it, so it'll be a late pass.
No, they're saying 6.
Jeez, they're doing really well here, brothers. They're holding them out and they're holding strong. And this might be the factor that Rebels might get a bit frustrated here if they don't get over the line. What do you think here, Sharpie?
Yeah, I mean, this is where the good teams just show their composure, isn't it? Isn't it, Singy? You're a man who's won a couple of World Cups, so you'd know all about that.
Yeah, I think it's really hard when you're a great scoop here through the short ball. Oh, great line running. Look at that. A little bit of a hip swivel, in and out. Short ball by Carney, as we spoke about earlier. That's one of their go-to players. You can see here 4 on 3. Little short ball, and the link is just too wide and just can't make the touch. Great line there by the middle.
It's a really good finish there from Laura Gleeson, getting the first one on the board for brothers, and it's a good reward for their last probably 5 or so minutes. Really worked themselves back into the match, and they get their one on the board. 2-1 is the score now, and it's game on here in the semi-final. So Rebels get us back underway. Emily Ward switches in Hawkins. Now Bryce switches up the point of attack again. Thomas. They come back in field. Thomas plays it for the wraparound play. Do they go short side? Bryce comes left foot, right foot. Woods comes up and makes the touch. In the 5. Late switch.
Great touch, Kim Susi. Fantastic cover in defence there. Hopefully she hasn't picked up an injury.
Oh, wow.
He's given that down.
Oh, that's a coach killer, as we'll see that replay come up. Late switch. Oh, yeah, that looks like it's down.
Yeah, it's a little 50-50 there. I think he's closer to the spot than us, so...
I was actually just about to say that Rebels were starting to look a little bit flustered against that Brothers defence. They looked really cool, calm and collected, and that's probably just a half lapse that, you know, in these big games you can't have.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And with Brothers, they worked, as we said, that 5 minutes, they worked really hard holding them out every time they came down, and that just lets the pressure valve off. So Brothers are going to have to work hard here. I think Ash Carney's going to have to orchestrate something here with Brooke English in the middle. And again, I think you got to go through the middle of them. You can't go around them.
So English just can't get away from Aiken. She'll get the ball back. Quite compressed here. Brothers might be something on the cards. Carney tries to get
square.
Yeah, picked up there from referee Denise Swear.
So we saw this at Metro Cup. You can see this is why Rebels are the best team in Queensland at the moment, is that they just stay in it. You never get a chance to kind of put them under pressure, and they just keep grinding, keep rolling forward. And you can see they've just rucked out of their own set after having a couple of not so great ones. And here comes a strike dump. Taryn Aiken on a sweeper.
Ward picks up, and again, Aiken sums it up perfectly. They had the numbers in the space down on the short side, left-hand side of the field. Nice finish as well. That's the 4th one on the board. They're just starting to stretch away a little bit now for Brothers.
Yeah, just this back end of the half, the last probably 2 minutes are costing Brothers a little bit here heading into the half time. They were evens. But I was just going to say that the Rebels team, they just look like they're such a process-driven team. Generally speaking, they don't get too flustered. It would be my vibe from sitting on the sideline.
Yeah, you're right about that, mate. You can see that there is a lot of composure, but sometimes in these big games when it's been a long state cup and you're tired, that's when the frustration can set in. And I think we saw a little bit of that and then they corrected it, and that's a sign of a good side.
Susie back onto the park, which is good to see. It looked like she took a little head knock early on. Gives a nice ball. Blanche tries to fire it up over the top as well. They couldn't come up with the chocolates right before the halftime break. It is the UQ Rebels who are in control of this one. The halftime score here is 4-1. And boys, Rebels are looking the goods, but there was plenty of positives to come out of the first half there from Brothers. Probably around the halfway mark of that first half, they got themselves back into the match. They grinded in, they got the points. Rebels end up running away with it at the end.
Yeah, I think the scoreline doesn't really reflect how close it actually was. I think Brothers were very, very good on their defensive line. I think we're going to throw across to Luke here at halftime.
Yeah, we're going to head over to Luke. He's got Kim Susi from the Brothers team.
Here with Kim. First half, probably not the way you wanted it to go. You're still huffing and puffing, working quite hard. What do you think you need to do in the second half?
I think we just need to stay in the grind. Rebels are a really quality team. Our team's a bit broken at the moment, but if we can stick in there and just hold them out, we just want to play a good second half. Not worried about the score. They're a quality team, but yeah, we can stay in it.
Excellent work. Go ahead, Aki, with your team. All the best for the second half.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Luke.
Back to you, boys, on the first half action and second half coming up.
Thanks, Luke. We'll take a short break here. The Rebels are in control of this one. The halftime score in the Women's Premier semi-final is Rebels 4 over Brothers 1.
Welcome back out on field one. Second half's about to get underway here between Brothers and the UQ Rebels. Rebels are in control of this one, 4-1. Boys, heard you having a little bit of a chat at half time. What do you reckon on both sides of the field? How's this one going to be won?
I mean, we were just saying, Singing and I were talking about the fact that this Rebels team, they've kind of been in these sort of situations a number of times over the last 3 years, and they've shown the resolve at this level to stick together and get the job done. It's up to Brothers to really take this game from them.
Yeah, I think Brothers just let themselves down at the end of that half. They let one and it turn into two, you know, a 2-1 half time, and I think they're really in this game, and they're going to have to really work hard here off the tap as we see a little trick play, well defended there by Rebels. We need to see him they need to be the first to score if they want to get into this final again. So looking to Ash Carney and Kim Susi here.
Carney, it is with the ball is short to Gleeson. Hard one to take behind her body.
And Rebels can really run away with it here. They've just got to make sure that they execute their rucking pattern, get down the other end and defend hard.
Yeah, wouldn't be shocked to see them run a few away sets this half where they bring the ball away from their sub-box.
And as you say that, they head straight towards their sub-box. Changes onto the field. Now start to come on for the Rebels as Emily Ward straightens up. She does a great job when she does transition in from the sub-box. Henny gives a nice ball out to Bryce, but there to answer the call from Brothers.
Well defended again by Brothers. This is exactly what happened in the first half. They defended really nice and strong. They've just got to try and get some results at the other end.
Susie just rolls down the sideline. Yarden now pulls forward. So Woods takes one above her head. Switches in Campbell underneath. Nice pick up here from Yarden. She gives to Woods. Nice bump ball. Rebels are sliding nicely though. They're running out of space here, Brothers. Leto brings it back in field to Woods. Woods puts the gas down. Still crabbing across field. Late switch back into Campbell. Campbell almost gets on the outside of Donovan.
That's great defence by the Rebels. Second and third efforts there as Woods comes off to the sideline. Just kill the ball.
Yep, they'll just send that one into the front row. Good job as well from Brothers. They threw plenty of questions coming into fifth touch on that occasion, but Rebels there to answer the call. Donovan puts it through the hands to Ward. They'll make changes again. Andrea Sen pops out Goodsall. Pick up an extra couple of metres. Donovan again trudges forward. High mind back onto the field now for Rebels. Marama Thomas steams onto the football. Nice pick up here from Davis. Davis picks up and goes. Holds, gets in, pops it back inside. And that is a pretty classy finish. The referees are going to pull this one back up though. Touch and pass is the call. But what a set piece that was coming out of their end of the field there from the Rebels.
Yeah, just a nice pick up and gas from Danny Davis. Unfortunate to get touched. As Brothers are coming off the box here, fresh legs. Woodsy looking dangerous out there, boys.
Mate, she's turning back the clock here, isn't she? Here comes a 4-on-3 scoop. Going short side, well defended. Well defended by Rebels, just too strong. And you'll see here that they'll just ruck straight to their box. I'd like to see Brothers actually squeeze over towards their box a little bit more. There's no point this winger being out here because they're not going to run this way. So squeeze over, put a bit more pressure on their box and see if they can get a turnover.
Hawkins takes a touch. Whisker away from getting a try in the previous set. Nice ball. Thomas picks up extra metres into Brothers territory as Aiken just rolls it forward again here for the Rebels.
Back down for Taryn here.
Yeah, right to left.
Looking for a passive. And well read by that winger there.
Yeah, Dawson coming in to make the touch on Andreasen. Donovan picks up from half. And they create something here on last play. They take the tat. Brothers still holding out 4-1. That's the score here in the Women's Premier semi-final. Galletto coming in to do some work.
Brothers really need to find something in the next couple of minutes here to try and really get themselves back in the game. They're in a nice little grind. There's probably about just over 10 to go, and it's really important that they just stay in this grind. They'd love to pick one up as Kim Susi goes through from half. Great read from Olivia Goodsall.
She saved a try there because that little skip and go by Kim Susi is one of the best in the game. That's why she plays for Australia. That's why she carves up all the time. And that little skip and go, she had her middle on dust and they just shut in short side to make sure they snuff that out.
The brothers, just taking a little deflection. We'll give them 6 more touches here. Looked like they were trying to transition into a defensive mindset. They were putting pressure on the Rebels as they were coming out of their end of the field. Curtis, yes, picks up cheap meters again.
They just always have options off that ruck. The half is always giving and getting around, and the player with the ball is always scanning to see where the space is. It's just beautiful to watch as they pick up. Tiani Bryce earns the team a penalty. A repeat set on the line here, Singy.
Yeah, man. I think Tiani Bryce is their go-to here. I think she's going to be looking for a sweep. That's her go-to play. And you've also got Marima there, I think. And she's one of their go-tos as well. So I think a sweeper and go at the line or a little quarterback.
Yeah, definitely early in the count.
Yep. I think that'll open them up well. And here we go. Tiani Bryce on a sweep. Straightens up. Little short ball. And we've got a try. Straight through the middle of them, and it was those two again. You can see that they just took their time and set it up, and that's the composure that Rebels have. They pick their spot. Tiani straightens up here, nice into the gap, and the link is just a little too wide and can't get there in time.
Yeah, she has a beautiful little left foot jink and then a really nice left to right pass as well, which we saw both of those.
I'd really like to see Ash Carney step up here and really lead this team. She's played with a lot of these girls at Rebels before, so she should know some of their tendencies, and she's got to get herself into the game. Great defence there by Mai.
Yeah, so 5-1 is the score now. They're going to pick up a penalty here, brothers. If there are any chance, they probably need to go in this set. Rebels are starting to stretch their legs a little bit. Full try advantage at the moment.
So I'm certainly getting away from the brothers girls here. They're not in a rush to play the ball by the look of it at all either.
Yeah, pretty long, tough weekend. And as we heard at halftime with Kim Susi, a couple of their players busted, as mentioned. Catherine Stevens not able to take part in this one. I heard she's got a bit of an ankle injury picked up this morning. She doesn't sound too good for Kath. As Carney tries to get on the outside, Donovan outstretched dive. Stops that one, so they're turning it on in defence as well. At the moment, they're scoring tries quite easily, but showing that it's all on the line in defence as well, which is positive signs for the coach.
Here's that away set we were talking about, or I was talking about earlier in the game. So they'll just send it away and get their fresh legs on while the ball's doing the work on the other side. Just great variation away from that traditional head to the box. Hinney running from half.
And they've got them stretched. Davis comes off the left foot, switches late, and Donovan can almost rip that one back in.
And the fantastic thing about that away set is that they still get a result off the end of it. It's not just an away set to get down the other end. They're still getting some kind of play off the back of it. And brothers just too good on the defence there. Held them out again, and now they're down the other end.
Brothers just a little bit slower now getting off. The heat is definitely taking its toll on the players today after 2 days of running as a half picking up.
Yeah, it's Campbell. He's picked up straight into the defenders there. And we've got our first grand final coming up, boys. After this one, it's men's 20s action that'll be coming up on the live stream. Rockhampton taking on Gold Coast. That is going to be a ripper.
You talk about traditional rivals. I think that is almost number one in the rivalries from a Junior State Cup perspective, Scotty.
Yeah, Junior State Cup, obviously they play against each other there, representing their affiliates, and then when you get to the next level up and you're representing your region, a lot of those players playing for CQ Bulls and South Queensland Sharks as well always seem to find each other at NYCs and Queensland Junior State Championships, so these guys would have come up against each other 1,000 times, and there's probably usually only one or two in it every time, and no doubt it'll be heated, there'll be good contact as well. Bit of chat, no doubt, but that men's 20s final is going to be a ripper.
Mate, that's going to be a great lead into what we've got coming up this afternoon. You know, there's the men's semis are going to come up soon, and they're going to be stacked. You've got the mix that is going to be stacked. We could see some fantastic teams in that, and then the women's, as we're seeing out here, some classy players out here for this afternoon's action.
So a big afternoon of finals coming your way. Make sure you stay tuned to the live stream coverage through Bar TV. As Woods tries to go the big switch. Was it for you there, Sharpie? You almost fell for that one, mate.
I think I put my neck out. It's no surprise to see when you see the standard of game, like this is, game 8 or game 9 for some of these girls, and to see the standard of football still on display, it probably should be no surprise to us to know that both teams who won the NRL Touch Premiership last year are from Queensland.
My drives in. Davis again picks up one-handed with the right hand, fires a ripping ball, just drops in front of Georgina Rackerman. It's a silky bit of skill there from Danny Davis. The pick up with one hand, puts it in two, and fires a ripping right to left. Just couldn't quite connect on the end.
It's fantastic footy. That's Danny's strength, her running game, and she's developed her right to left pass over the last few years, and she just couldn't quite execute there, but you can see what they're looking for.
Looking for a penalty here. No, pick it up as well. Strong contact.
Well, our brothers need to find something here, otherwise it's going to be a long last 5 minutes of this game. They're running short on legs, but they've got to finish their tournament well here.
Well, they've got Ash on the field, and Kim Susi as well, who's picked up from half, short ball.
Yep, second phase.
Play on.
And there's a bit of wind there, and just can't quite get it there. They're going to get a penalty though. So we've got our two plays here. I'd actually really like to see Ash Carney on a sweep and Kim Susi dummy the sweeper and take off short side. Run past Marama there and get into the in goal. I think that'll be the play I'll be going to, but we'll see what happens here. I think Kim Susi will probably set up for a quickie to start with. That's her go-to, and then you've got to get Ash on a sweep, I think.
So Carney comes back in field. They're within the 5. Early ball. They got them on the back foot. Can they dive in the corner? Touch.
Dress calling touch.
Yeah, Ellie Draper getting across to make that one. Scrambling. Galetto will take the tap. Should take the touch, I should say. She'll crab across field. Links up now with Blanche. Blanche fires it across to Susi. They're just trying to get bodies into position here. A little bit all over the place. Woods now stretches them out. She'll pull the UQ defence with her. So look to set up. Throws the big dummy in field. And touch made. That was on the last one. So a little bit clunky. Couldn't pull that one together, unfortunately. Score remains 5-1.
Rebels not afraid to pass it off their own line, but well done by the brothers winger there and just shuts it down and gives themselves another opportunity to score here. Sharpie, what are you looking for here? How are you going to score?
Just seeing who they're putting on the field, Ray Barker, Brooke English, and Woodsy. I think Woodsy will be orchestrating. They seem to have wanted to play a wide, expansive running game with the switches off the back. I'd even throw in just a very old school and an SA. See whether you can catch that link, just napping a little bit.
There you go, they've run it there. The wingers come up and shut it down well.
They're just a little bit too far away from the line. The Rebels are doing a great job of pressing out almost 10, 15 metres and taking touches off them. Gleason switches back with Woodsy. There's that SA. Bump play. Woodsy's running.
Great touch. Jeez, if Woodsy was a couple of years younger there, I reckon she'd get to with her foot speed, but that's fantastic recovery there. I think this Marama Thomas, isn't it?
Yeah, Thomas made the touch.
Fantastic recovery there to snuff out another try.
But that's probably how this Brothers team can exploit as Brooke English drops the ball. Yeah, that running game, getting the ball alive and that bump play or switch and release, just to get the middles and links actually chasing a little bit side to side before they go to the sweep play.
And I think that's something that a lot of the teams nowadays don't do so much. If you go back into the 90s and in 2000s when they played the game, that's how they played. A lot of switches, a lot of expansive play, and that's probably come from Woodsy coming back and playing with this team and bringing that into the team. So it's a good change of what we see in the traditions of the game.
I mean, that's, you talk to especially a lot of old school coaches. I know Tony Trad says that a lot down at West in Sydney, that people have just forgotten how to run an A. So great to see this Brothers team running a bit of old school touch. Is Woodsy again, like the Energizer Bunny.
They ran into a brick wall on that occasion. Woods again picks up from half. And she gets touched from acting half as well.
Just a bit disjointed here. They're a bit tired. It's getting to be a long day. There's only 45 seconds left, and I think they're ready to pack up shop here. Rebels will just kind of take their time and play out the clock here, I think. No need to do anything silly. make sure they're right for this afternoon's action.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting. I'm trying to see who's up in this other semi-final in the women's division. It'll be very interesting to see who's going to take on the UQ side.
So Rackerman rolls forward. Now Emily Ward dishes off Bryce. Ward will pick up from half, goes to Bryce. Bryce gets him within the 5 now. Ward goes short to Bryce and just becomes available to her. Space opened up through the middle of the field, and 6-1 on the board. Those two connected up again. And just before the full-time siren as well, as replay comes up, Wood comes left, goes in field, and straight through two brothers defenders. So Rebels will go through to the grand final, lads. Pretty good performance there over brothers, and they might be looking good to take the gold.
Yeah, I mean, definitely they've been the team to beat all weekend, and they showed that again there. Just very clinical, scored tries when it mattered and stopped them as well.
It's got class all the way to the park, mate. It'll be fantastic to see them go against, I think it might be CCU over there has got up, and that's a traditional rivalry. We saw it in Metro Cup, so it'll be fantastic to see those girls go head-to-head this afternoon.
Yeah, it's going to be a great final. We'll clarify the scores in the second semi-final as well. As mentioned, it is men's 20s grand final action that's about to take place out here on Field 1. Gold Coast taking on Rockhampton. It's going to be an absolute ripper as well. And we'll head over to Luke in just a few moments' time. But predictions for the men's 20s grand final, boys?
Oh, mate, I'd be hung if I didn't say Gold Coast. So I'd like to see the Gold Coast boys get up, but I think it's going to be bloody tight. I think it's going to be either one try in it or it might go to a drop-off. But we'll throw over to Luke, I think, here.
Yep, we'll head over to Luke, and it looks like he's got Sammy Jo Curtis from the UQ Rebels.
Through to the grand final, how does it feel?
Oh, pretty good. We're pretty stoked to be, up against a really hard brothers side in that semi. We just played them in the round game this morning, and they really stuck it to us, so we're pretty stoked to get through.
What's the game plan for the finals? More of the same, or are you going to change it up?
Yeah, I think more of the same. We just get everything right and stay nice and disciplined. Do whatever the coach tells us to.
Excellent work. We'll go and rehydrate. Get ready for the rest of the day. Grand final coming up. All the best.
Thank you so much. See ya.
See you later. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Luke, and a big thanks to Sammy Jo Curtis as well, joining us after that hard-fought semi-final win. UQ Rebels are into the grand final. We're going to take a short break before the men's 20s game. As mentioned, Gold Coast taking on Rockhampton.